What the heck? What the heck's up? All right, let's everything put together now. One of those up there. What's going on? Welcome into the stream. Ram Showcase Live. I don't know how many we've done. I think this is probably like five now, five or six, something like that. But every Monday, popping on live, talk about the LA Rams. And of course, anybody is welcome to hop on and join if you would like to. I will post the link here in the comments if anybody wants to hop on and talk about the LA Rams. There's not a whole lot going on as far as like breaking news or anything going on right now. We're getting into camp. Camp is officially tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting stuff, right? Camp, and then of course preseason. We're getting into it right now. Like this is like the how I always kind of view it. Like this is like the official start of football season. Is like when training camp is beginning. This is like the exciting time, man, because everybody's 0-0, and like it's anybody's game. Like what if the Rams rookie class is just so sick this year and end up making playoff runs and stuff like that? So it's just exciting stuff. It's just so I'm kind of here for all this right now. But this is like one of my favorite times of the year is right now. So we will start getting some unfortunate news as camp does kind of creep up on us starting tomorrow. We will start hearing about people getting banged up and all that stuff. Just hopefully we don't see anybody that's real critical to the roster right now. Hopefully we don't see any big names or anything like that falling down. But this is just, like I said, this is an exciting time right now. I do have the bulk of my notes. Like I've got just a couple things that I need to add. So I'm recording my podcast right after this. But so there's like a few things I guess I'll kind of be a little light on, but whatever y'all would like to talk about, because that's for me to dump my brain out. This is to have conversation with the fans. So if anybody wants to hop on and join me here, that's obviously welcome, like I said. But other than that, if there's anything that Rams fans are kind of talking about right now, I know uniforms, big old discussion right now. I think I'm being misunderstood in my comments about the uniforms. I think right now my emotions on uniforms are pretty indifferent. I don't really care what the Rams look like out there. I realize that certain things are more historical than others, but I was ready to watch some football. Not really worried about what we look like while we're doing it. I just want to see some cool plays. I want to see sick catches. I want to see Rams touchdowns, some sacks and stuff like that. So just kind of pumped for football. And I get also there's some teams getting some really sick throwbacks right now. The Titans for sure. They're Oilers. I think that's kind of funny. I had like a weird misunderstanding in my own brain of what the Titans were even doing there, because they were obviously, now I can look back and be like, oh, that was supposed to be oil that they were putting onto their jerseys for the Oilers. And that makes total sense to me now. But in my brain, it was like, oh man, they go with a black jersey? That's kind of weird. So that's just my own brain being my brain. And so that's pretty cool stuff. So thanks for everybody who's hopping in into the chat, stuff like that. Silly Fun Guy, best name on YouTube. What's going on? Cody, back for more. LA Rams. What's going on? And Oscar popping in too. What's going on, Sheriff? Yeah, man. Just hit the like. I'm so bad at like telling people to do stuff like this. It does help the algorithms and all that stuff. If you like it, tell the YouTube that you like it, and then other people will see it too, because that's how that works. I do have some things going on in my brain as far as what the game previews will look like this year, by the way. So if anybody's got any, I guess, I don't know if recommendations, but maybe some suggestions or some requests on something that you would like to see in the game preview. Now's the time to kind of talk about that, because I am going to be starting my structure on what my game previews will look like. And I like the way that my game previews have been. I like the way that they're set up right now. So I've got no like itching urge to like just overhaul it at all. But if there's something that you feel like the game preview is missing, let me know, and we can try to get that added. I don't know what's going to happen as far as the video version of that. That is going to be the only part of the Ram Showcase podcast that does have a video version of it. Just simply because of the whole YouTube thing that happened this off season. But so we do have a question coming in here. We'll get back to all that stuff. Obviously, we'll be talking here for a bit. So the Raiders have reached an agreement with Marcus Peters. That makes total sense, actually. That's just coming out right now. I just got the notification. So 1-year deal in Vegas. So that's cool. It's cool for Marcus Peters. Obviously, it's been a bit since he's been with the Rams. That was a pretty short stint overall, but I liked him. His touchdown that he had against the Raiders is one of my favorite plays of that year. It was just super cool stuff. It was like a way to open the year. It was just awesome to see that. So, Cody's question on my way home from work: do we see more sweeps this year to help the run game? I fully anticipate that we'll see more sweeps this year. I kind of talked about it a lot last week, but along the lines of like comparing anything from last year into this year, you can kind of basically just throw it on out. So I think it's more realistic to look at years before last year and kind of compare what we might be able to see from this offense, especially the scheme and everything, based on years previous to last. Because last year it obviously kind of got away with us with the injuries and all that stuff, and I think we went away from a lot of the typical McVay game planning stuff, simply because we just didn't really have the same guys out there. We ended up kind of getting down to a pretty stripped down offense, especially late in the year when we kind of had a couple guys coming back, but for the most part, it was a pretty patchwork offense, just in general. And Baker Mayfield throwing to the number one target in Van Jefferson, it was just like, I don't think anything that we expected. If that was on your prediction list heading into last season, that Baker Mayfield was going to be throwing touchdowns, I need to ask you more questions. But yeah, so kind of just got away from the Rams last year as far as like the offensive game plan goes. So to answer your question, yeah, I do expect more sweeps as long as the Rams can stay healthy and stay in going into games with a roster that they feel confident with. And I think that was a big part of it last year, is that just seemed to get away from the Rams, seemed to get away from just everything in general. And like I said, it kind of seemed like at the end of the year, it's kind of like just like calling plays and just hoping that something can happen, because obviously Baker Mayfield didn't have a deep understanding of the playbook, never did. And then a lot of the offensive linemen we had coming in, they weren't part of training camp and all that stuff, and they're now starting. So it was just a kind of a throwaway year. So yeah, again, to answer your question, I would say we'll see a lot more than last year. As far as who they're going to be coming from, I would expect that Puka Nacua will be getting a good chunk of offensive plays this year. So he's a guy that I would expect to see in that role. I'm sure we'll see a lot of screens still, like the wide receiver screens, and I'm sure that he'll be on the receiving end of a good chunk of those, as well as Cooper Kupp. But as far as like the screens go, obviously, or the sweeps go, we can obviously see Ben Skoranek can take some of those if he needs to. Hopefully, Tutu Atwell is more in a position to be like an important part of the offense, not just a guy who can just straight line speed and try to burn some corners, take the top off of the defense. So hopefully we get some more versatility out of his game. And then Ben Skoranek, hopefully he's always kind of been solid, and he's like a well-rounded player, but to see him take that next step, I think would be very important. But we'll see kind of who is really taking that lead. And like I said, with training camp starting tomorrow, that'll give us a better understanding of what wide receivers are going to be kind of sitting where. And this is like the important part now, where listening to press conferences and stuff like that is actually very important and it's very telling. There's a lot of things that we can get out of press conferences starting tomorrow. Or you get things like Tyler Higbee saying you eat, sleep, and poop football for the next 18 days, which is true. I mean, that is absolutely facts. So who lying? Dem offer NFL media about trading Stafford. I mean, I don't really know this answer, to be completely honest with you, Bill, but I would guess that there's some truth all over the place. I'm gonna guess that the Rams probably did not actively try to trade Matthew Stafford. I'm also going to guess that there was probably some NFL teams that made phone calls and asked about Matthew Stafford. So as far as who is lying, probably both, if I had to guess, and also neither. Like I feel like either side of this whole storyline of Matthew Stafford potentially getting traded, I think either of them could say, "Well, I heard this, and that is true." But then on the other side of it, it's like, "Well, that yeah, we didn't really try though. Like that wasn't us making phone calls trying to unload this guy," which makes total sense. But if a team calls and you're like, "Well, what can you offer?" Just to see, like, you might as well, right? Is that the Rams trying to trade Matthew Stafford? If somebody calls and says, "What would you want for him?" and you respond with, "Well, what do you got?" Like, is that trying to trade Matthew Stafford? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't classify it as that. So on that, if that was the conversation, I would side with Staff or with Demoff there, being like, well, we didn't really try to. And yeah, the Rams did have an out this year. And if there was going to be a time for the Rams to just dump that cap and then just take the hit this year, it was this one, right? Like that makes total sense. And so I don't know. I would say that both we don't know the truth, unfortunately, and I don't know if we'll ever know the truth. But realistically, I would say that I don't think that Matthew Stafford was close to being traded this offseason. I just don't think that that was a real thing. And we'll get hints from people like Les Snead. Les Snead will give us hints about what's going on, and like you can pick it out on different areas of like uh, when he was talking about the pillars of the team going in. He was talking about this offseason. He mentioned he's like, we still have our pillars in place. We still have Donald, Kupp, Stafford. Like those were the names that he had. This was before the Ramsey trade, and it kind of stuck out as like, oh, he didn't say Ramsey though, who being one of the best corners, one of the best secondary players in the NFL right now. You would think that he would throw that name into there. You know what I mean? And he didn't. And then, of course, he gets traded. And we've seen that before where, like Jared Goff is our quarterback right now. Like right now, what does right now mean? Well, it means that conversations were probably already happening and getting of moving on from him. And then the Cabo thing happened where it was like, well, we can do it for Matthew Stafford. So let's just pull the trigger. I'm sure that was semi what happened. And then this conversation right now, you just got to pick out what you do and don't believe. That is really important to it because the thing is like I said, with both sides having probably things that are true and probably things that are not true. I don't know how much Kevin Demoff would want to lie to us. If you ask Mike Florio how much Kevin Demoff wants to lie to us, it's probably just that's all he does is lie. But Mike Florio also kind of he's bitter with the Rams. I would like to kind of know why. I don't know. Maybe there's some more to that. I know why Joe Buck hates the Rams, and it's just because he loves St. Louis, and it's like that's cool, man. Like you can like St. Louis, it's totally fine. So, does the trading rumors hurt Stafford's performance on the field this year? No, I don't think that they have any correlation. I don't think that Matthew Stafford's going to be like going through his reads in Week 8 and then be like, oh man, but they didn't even want me. Like I don't think I don't think that actually has any. I think that he's also veteran enough. He's grown up enough to go into the season and be able to compartmentalize that of like, okay, well, I'm the quarterback now, so who cares? Like, whatever happened there it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So no. Does the Stafford trade rumors hurt his performance on the field this year? No. There will be people that if he performs poorly, they'll maybe say where he was distracted. He thought he was going to be traded. And I just don't think that there's any real weight to that. But hey, also, who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe he is sitting there thinking, and he's all sitting all bitter. But I would be very surprised if he was just sitting there and just not happy that there was rumors in general, because he knows the truth. First of all, he knows the truth. He knows what's real. Matthew Stafford knows what's real. He knows if the team was actually trying to trade him, or if they were like, hey, we're getting calls on you, by the way, but we're not really interested, whatever. So no, I don't. Rams house in the house. Got a question here coming from Single T. What's your opinion on the rumors of the Rams being obsessed with getting Trey Lance at some point? That they're watching the situation. I have actually not heard this. Haven't heard this at all. I would be very surprised if it was a Trey Lance thing of like the Rams being like, what'd you say? Obsessed. I said possessed. They're possessed by Trey Lance. but I don't know. He's an interesting enough player, but I just don't. I don't know. He's played what 3 football games in the last 4 years, which I don't know, man. Like I don't see it in Trey Lance. Typically, you can kind of tell, even early on, even if it's like I don't know, you can tell early. I kind of stand by that. It's like we'll know if like Jordan Love is good pretty quick. Like he might be decent, but like we'll know if he's a superstar or he's a total bummer like pretty quick. By Thanksgiving, we're gonna have the answers to these questions. And if Trey Lance again gets hurt, or if he doesn't get the start, that's enough. That's more information than you need to know. So if Trey Lance comes in and he's healthy but not the starter behind like Brock Purdy, that's all you need to know, man. You don't need him on your team. You don't need him on your team. If he can lose out to a Mr. Irrelevant like that, then you don't need him. Just move on. So Florio hates the Rams because he's a lifetime Vikings fan, and they were the Rams rivals in the 70s. I mean, maybe. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a real thing, but I mean, it sounds like a real thing that could be a possibility. I just don't know if I would say that that's why he still is like sitting here like Kevin Demoff's a liar because Kevin Demoff wasn't there in the 70s. I don't know, man. I think I've also grown to a little bit of a new era in my fan where I just really love football. I really love the Rams. The record doesn't really matter to me because I have no say there. I just cover the team, and whatever the team happens to do, I'm kind of here for it. And other teams, I don't hate as much. I think I'm just too tired to hate now, and then in my old age. So, yeah, there's that part of it. 2.5 games, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks, nothing spectacular. I just don't see McVay being infatuated. Trey. I don't either, dude. Like, straight up. I don't either because there's nothing there that warrants excitement, honestly. And these 49ers fans can argue with me all they want to until they're blue in the face, but like 2.5 games in the last 4 years, man. What does that do for me? Like that's so difficult to tell. And in those games, I kind of talked about that with like you will know, like in those games that he played early last year, and I know that they were like bad weather that they were dealing with and stuff like that. But in those games, he was performing in a way where you're like, oh, he doesn't have it. Like usually there's like a throw or two where you're like, hold on. It's like maybe this is a bad day, but he's got something here. He did have no plays where you're like, whoa, hold on a second. Like he just the game like week 1 ended and it was like, oh, okay, if this is gonna be their quarterback, then hell yeah. Like that's really how I felt. And I know it was just one game and a lot of things can change and stuff like that, but like, come on now. I mean, come on now. And then Brock Purdy, I think that he's one of those where I don't know if I mean, who knows, man. He's got the right energy, but to come into the situation that he came into with a pretty loaded team and a very quarterback friendly system and the way that he was kind of slinging it around, it gave me big old Austin Davis vibes. And I know that a good chunk of y'all know exactly what I talk about when I say that. Big Austin Davis vibes because he was exciting. He was difficult to stop. He was a winner. He was a competitor. But ultimately, he just didn't really have it. And I kind of put Brock Purdy into that same situation. So we'll see, I guess. But again, you already the 49ers going into the season with both of those quarterbacks, you're already losing. You already lost if you have both of them. Trade one of them. You have to. I think you have to because you've got value on your roster right now. You got value on your bench. You could get rid of Trey Lance. There is a team that you could trick into taking Trey Lance from you, and that's probably what they should do. Brock Purdy, if you can get, like, based on what he did last year, it shouldn't be insane to say that you could get like a lower level player in a 2 or a 3 out of him. And at that point, you've got your worth. You just turned a 7th round final pick in the draft into a 3rd round pick. You've already won. And maybe the value there is under what some 49er fans would want or something like that. But I mean, if we're talking now, we're talking that. I don't know what the heck this means, Aaron. I don't know what the heck this means. What do I think about Scotch tape? It's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. You drop the tape, big fan. Love Scotch. I'm a big Scotch guy. It's definitely my favorite. The tape version of that, I don't have emotions on. I'll be completely honest with you. I would love to know if Stetson Bennett was just a guy that the Rams liked and threw a dart at the wall to see maybe if it sticks, or if he's a guy that they really believe will develop to take over Stafford. That's a very, very good point. That's a very good point, because we don't have the answer to this, and this is the first time we've seen Sean McVay take a quarterback in the draft, which is interesting, because I would have guessed that if the Rams were going to go after a quarterback this year, just based on what we know about Sean McVay and the quarterbacks that he's liked, honestly, my brain tells me that the Rams would have shot for Will Levis if they were really looking for a quarterback. So obviously the knowledge of Stafford coming back, especially draft time, it makes sense that you would just go with somebody else. And then that stupid question, I still don't know who asked it, but it still frustrates me this day. Whoever asked the question, like, are you guys going to be like looking probably like bringing in a quarterback? Like, you only got one. And then Sean McVay's like smart ass answer of being like, oh no, we actually think we were just going to be the only team. We were going to have just one. No kickers, punters either. Just no. And it's like, that's got to make you feel so stupid as the person who asked that question. Because like, it is a dumb question. All that stuff where like there's no stupid questions, that ended in school. All right. After your senior year, yeah, there are stupid questions now. Most of them are stupid now. So that's the thing. But to see what Stetson Bennett looks like in preseason, it's got my attention. It has absolutely got my attention. Because let's just say, because I know Rams fans also too, when we start talking about quarterbacks, like Caleb Williams has popped into somebody's head already since we've had this conversation just now. But like, I'm here to tell you that, like, what if Matthew Stafford goes down, say like week 4, 5, 6, something like that, and then Stetson Bennett comes in, Steady B, Stet Benatar comes in, and he's just unbelievable. Then what? So like, that's why I keep on having the conversation too of like, let's just wait till next year. Like, we can talk about quarterback till we're face next year, but let's first find out what the hell this year is all about. What if Caleb Williams tears his ACL off? It just falls off. It's just they scrape his ACL off the field. Then do we still want number one? What if Drake May just looks like this year? It's like, oh, if you go Caleb over Drake May, you're an idiot. Like, what if that's the way that this year plays out? So let's just wait. Let's just wait to see what happens. But Stetson Bennett, man, I'm so curious to see what he looks like this year. If we get to see him, hopefully that's the goal, right? Is that we only see him in preseason, and then that dude has a clean jersey sitting on the bench all year long. That is ideal, right? So, yeah. Oh, that makes sense. I don't know what question I answered or what I was trying to get around to, but I get it. What is your prediction for the quarterback splits in the preseason games? I'm going to guess very heavy Stetson Bennett. Very heavy Stetson Bennett. I will be surprised, really, if he's under 50%, I'm shocked. But I'm feeling like he'll get like 3 quarters, and then we'll let the other guys kind of fill in at the end. That's kind of what I'm guessing. I'm having a hard time even naming other guys right now. Let me get the other names. I should know, but it's just not in my brain right now. Whew, I'm hungry, man. Let's see. So we're gonna go to this because we kind of have the understanding right now that it's going to be Stafford and Bennett. Like, if Rippon comes in, that's the one I was like, obviously I should know that name. If Rippon comes in and performs, I guess, fine, like maybe the Rams keep 3 and Rippon can be there as like a good, I guess, veteran presence, but we literally have that with our starter. Dresser win, I'm going to just go ahead and ballpark. I'm going to throw out a guess that he's going to be cut. I don't think that should blow any minds or anything like that. But also, who knows? Maybe he's super sick. He's 6'2". That's kind of cool. Stet Benatar, 5'11", so just a little taller than me. That makes me feel a little weird, I think. But I'm sure he's fine. Kind of looks like a dork, but I kind of like my quarterbacks dorky, you know? Like, I like my quarterbacks not to be in the news and to draw a lot of attention, which is exactly what we get with Matthew Stafford. I liked that the craziest stuff we ever heard from Jared Goff was like, he doesn't know which way the sun sets. Like, and it's like, hey, yeah, well, he could throw a football. I don't know, man. Like, I don't care. So yeah, I like the quarterbacks who kind of just stay out of it, really, you know. Trade Lance because any longer he's not going to be worth anything. Purdy is the better trade value. But that's the point, is like, do you go, who do you trust? And if you trust both of them, because if you don't trust either of them, that's the thing. That's where you just go, if you don't trust either of them, you get rid of the worst guy. You get rid of the guy you trust the least, because then you kind of you save yourself from getting burned on the other side of that later on. But if you really think that both are the guys, then you trade the guy who has more trade value, because then you just get back more. And if you like them both, then it doesn't really matter which one you keep, right? But again, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. We've seen this situation play out so many times, and it's never worked for the team. The team always loses. Like, if you have two quarterbacks on your team and you don't get rid of one of them, it ends up burning you. Look at the Falcons. Remember when they were trying to decide between Matt Schaub and Michael Vick? And so Matt Schaub went to the Texans, and then Michael Vick got arrested, and then they had nobody. And it's like, you just got to make up your mind, man. Got to make up your mind. Yeah, Scotch tape. I have no idea what the hell's going on here. No idea. I'm trying to work my way down through the comments. By the way, if anybody wants to hop on, feel free. Everybody always comes on and cusses, though. It makes me feel uncomfortable, because I try to be so family friendly here. And when other people come in and start doing it, it's like, I'm sorry, guys. So I hope for a backup and a fourth round pick. For Lance, I'd say that's reasonable. Purdy's got some hype around him right now, which you can really sell. You can sell hype. I mean, realistically, you can sell hype. All right. Aaron just thinks he's funny in here. I'm not trying to talk trash, Aaron. But when I'm getting comments like this, followed by this, I mean, I don't know what to do with that, man. What do you want from me? What reaction are you looking for from me? Very confused by it. I'm not trying to talk trash. I just don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to it. Do we currently have a third quarterback? Yeah, we have four. We got Matthew Stafford. We got Stet Benatar. Then we have Brett Rippon, and then Dresser Wynn. Dresser and Stet are rookies. Brett Rippon obviously been around for a bit, and we all know Matthew Stafford. See, Silly Fun Guy, best name on YouTube. This we have nothing here. That's all. Nothing last year impacts this year. It's very much like I guess if you look at like law of averages over time, then we can say that, like, yeah, we'll probably stay healthier this year. But it's like, if I flip a coin and it lands on heads, and then I pick up that coin to flip it again, it's still 50-50, right? Like, if we look at both chances being heads, then our odds change a little bit, all right? So, like, if we're looking at, can the Rams stay healthy based on last year? It's like, well, it feels like we have a better chance of staying healthy based on how last year went, but it's still that coin toss. It's still the coin toss. Each toss in itself is still 50-50. Those percentages only change when you start looking over time. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know if that does or not. John, what's going on, John? Which games are going to this year? We'll definitely be in Denver for the preseason game. Got tickets to that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this right now or not. There's a chance we do giveaways for that. Just chances. I haven't been able to confirm that yet. We got to kind of see what's going on. But I do have tickets, some tickets that I'm trying to get rid of. Yeah, that's all. If anybody needs tickets, message me. We can work something out. But also, I would like to get out to Seattle. We'll see what happens. Obviously, got to make sure that I'm good here first. And turns out, being a radio DJ is not where all the dollars are made. We're doing fine, but it's like, I mean, not just killing it over here. Not to make you hungry, but eating a Philly cheesesteak right now. Dude, that doesn't make me hungry at all, actually. You know what? Hot take. I think Philly cheesesteak is whack. I don't like it. I think it makes me thirsty. It makes me just want a glass of water. I don't know what it is. Philly cheesesteak, there's something about it. I'm not into it. I'm not that into it. So, no, you didn't, Bill. You're good. Going to any games this year? Yeah. Definitely Denver. Like I said, I would like to get out to Seattle. Kind of would hope to get out to Cincinnati. But I don't think that that'll happen. I'm looking at taking a train to LA potentially. So we'll see what happens. If you got some shades, you could pass this biker. Thank you. I think. I don't think that's supposed to be a burn. My dad is. I know a bunch of guys that are bikers. All like the Harley crowd and stuff like that. Associated with different clubs and such. I know a bunch of those guys. So living that metal life, dog. Which I don't know if that sentence has ever been said. That's cool. Yes. Yes. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So what I said did make sense, and that's really all I needed, man. I needed to just to clarify that those words made sense because, yeah, just because we were beat to hell last year doesn't mean we're just gonna be healthy this year. We got to still like you still got to do the thing. You still got to be healthy this year. So we'll see. But if the Rams offensive line can't stay healthy, then we are already locked in for a much better year. As long as we don't see performances like Boom did at left tackle before he got hurt. Like to put it bluntly, he didn't play well. And neither did David Edwards before he went out. So like I don't know. It's kind of that weird thing too, because like we talk about the injuries that happened last year is like, oh man, but this sucked. Like this, we got screwed here or something like that. But then on the other side of that, Inseki and Skura played better than Boom and Edwards. So it's like, did that hurt the Rams? Or did we end up getting better because of, like, you know what I mean? So like that's a weird thing. What was the stat that I saw that Boom in just his limited games gave up as many, or was it more pressures than Whitworth did the previous 2 years? And it's like that's not good, man. He fell off. Boom straight up fell off last year. So hopefully something cool happens this year, but yeah, we'll see what happens. What up, Rams House highlights? Have you seen enough from Ernest to think our inside linebacker spot is secured for the near distant future? I absolutely, yeah, I do. And maybe I'm like kind of going like too hype on my Ernest Jonesness, but I think he's absolutely in position to run that unit and do a fine job. If for no other reasons, I guess I'm gonna for one reason, and then I list like 8. I do that a lot. I got to work on that. But so he's already been very talented. He's physically a total freak. Now he's got a year that he's worked with Bobby Wagner, seeing that leadership firsthand. The attitude that he's come into this camp with, I think, is so critical. And I think a big part of it is the guys that we've lost. So if you listen to Ernest Jones talk going into this year, and he knows that like this team does not have superstars, that we lost a lot of talent, but he still feels like he can come in and lead the guys that we do have to kick butt cheeks all over the place. So you know what? I'm fully on the Ernest Jones train. I think that he's going to be awesome this year, and I think that this is the year that we see Ernest Jones as like a legitimate top linebacker in the NFL. I think he's got everything to get it done. The only thing that would stop him is himself at this point, and I don't think that based on his mindset going into the season that that's something that we'll see. And I'm so pumped to hear the press conferences that we get from him in training camp based on what we heard from him in the off-season stuff. Johnny coming in. What up, man? Johnny, pumped to hang out, man. I know we'll run into each other. Already been talking to your brother a little bit. So yeah, man, it's gonna be some good times. I thought I saw something. Gonna be some good times next month, man, for sure. So yeah, we'll hang out before and after. I'll be there all day, dude. And I'm talking about the Denver game. I'll be there all day long. Dang it, AJ, this never works out, man. We'll have to try to coordinate better. AJ says cannot jump on next week for sure. This was my bad too. I knew what time this was going to be, and I kept on like getting busy and doing stuff, and then I would like start cleaning my apartment and stuff, and then it was like I had a hard time getting around to it. Aaron's also excited for the Seahawks Rams game. That's gonna be good times, man. It's gonna be fun. Can you give the Rams fans that might be completely down on the Rams a few reasons you think they could be a top 15 defense. All right. So there's something that I like to call a little bit of a Matthew Stafford paradox. All right. And this doesn't go back to, I'm not saying Matthew Stafford because he's the Rams quarterback. I'm talking about Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford throwing deep balls to Megatron and quadruple coverage and scoring touchdowns, and then Megatron retires. All right. So obviously we knew that Matthew Stafford was one tough cookie. He's been since his rookie year. We know the clip, but Matthew Stafford needed to grow up really fast when Megatron retired, and he did. And instead of just tossing up into quadruple coverage to Calvin Johnson, he had to go through his reads and he had to become a better quarterback. And yeah, maybe Cooper Kupp is hurting that a little bit, giving him that taste of your security blanket. And this guy's awesome. He's going to score all your tuds. All right. I think that's the same thing for the Rams defense. I think we were extremely reliant on Jalen Ramsey and Bobby Wagner last year. Bobby Wagner very kind of quietly had one of the best seasons a Rams linebacker has ever had. And it's always going to be one of those those weird, it's going to be like a weird little notch in his career where he just spends all of his time in Seattle because obviously he's back there and probably just going to retire and stuff like that. But he's going to have that one lone year in LA with the Rams where he won 5 games but had one of the best linebacking seasons the team's ever seen. That's going to be such a weird anomaly in his career stat line forever. Kind of love it. But then you also have Jalen Ramsey, who I know that we talk a lot about the soft coverage and stuff like that the Rams have done under Raheem Morris. But I think that's part of it, is that you take a situation where you can rely on Bobby Wagner, you can rely on Jalen Ramsey, you can rely on Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, and then you take that away. Now everybody else has to be better. And I think that you look at the way that Matthew Stafford did that when Calvin Johnson retired and became so much better of a quarterback in Detroit. I think that you take that mindset and put it into the Rams defense. Yeah, we lose superstars, but now Raheem Morris has to be better. Aubrey Pleasant returning to the Rams, he got to be better. You have the leaders such as Aaron Donald, who knows he's been a clear-cut leader for a very long time, but obviously he's in that conversation now. Jordan Fuller, clear-cut leader. Ernest Jones, clear-cut leader. And they have to be now. And you thrust them into these roles. That's, to me, exciting. And inexperience doesn't inherently mean bad. Think of sick rookie performances and people looking back and being like, holy crap, I was a rookie for that. I think that we'll see those. We're going to see those situations. And the players the Rams have on defense right now, guys like Byron Young and Trey Tomlinson, these guys are in a position where they could be sick this year. And if those guys are so sick this year, that means that our defense isn't terrible. You know what I mean? And you have Aaron Donald, which impacts every single play. Whether or not he's getting into the face of the quarterback, the offense has to know exactly where he's at. The quarterback has to know where he's at. The center has to know where he's at. The running back has to know where he's at. Everybody's got to know, okay, where's Aaron Donald? And then from there, then you branch out. And as long as you have a player that can do that, your defense is in a position where it can be pretty good. You know what I mean? And if Aaron Donald can get into the face of somebody and get guys like Durant to be in better position or to rush those throws where Tomlinson and Fuller can undercut passes and stuff like that, then it's going to be fine. I think we're in a position where we can have a top 15 feels so real to me. And it's because we're not relying on superstars anymore. We have to play as a unit. The defense has to play as a whole unit defense. And there's something about this year that just I like the underdog thing, the whole underdog story that this team has right now. But I also just absolutely love the vibe of going in not knowing who's going to pop, who's going to be sick, who's going to be maybe bad, who's somebody that we're talking about that we're pumped for that's not going to be very good. You know what I mean? Is it a Darian Kendrick or anything? I'm not trying to pinpoint anybody because that's taboo, I guess, to talk about. But we don't know who's going to pop and who's just going to be the sickest player this year. What if Trey Tomlinson has one of the best seasons a rookie corner's ever had? What if he's out here breaking records and scoring more than 4 defensive touchdowns off picks? What if? What if, man? Who knows? So that's the thing is I think that we're in a good position to have Pretty interesting season on defense. Lions hosting Teddy Bridgewater. That's interesting. I think it's nothing to this conversation. Who had a better duel? Stafford, Cup, and hold on. Stafford, Cup, and Beckham, or Warner, Bruce, and Holt? Duel, like just like the better wide receivers? Are you trying to figure this out? So are you talking about who had the better combo to throw to? Stafford to Cup and Beckham, or Warner to Bruce and Holt? Because it's hard to go against Bruce and Holt in that situation, especially considering Beckham was only a short timer for the Rams. It's one of those things where it's like his impact was definitely felt, and I don't know if the Rams win the Super Bowl, go all the way that way if without that hype. You know what I mean? Like Von Miller and OBJ coming in, that was huge for the Rams. But I think that's kind of what you mean there. But I don't know. There's also it's a different league, man. It's a different league right now. So to put Bruce, Warner, and Holt into today's NFL, I think it's like a fine combo. To put the Stafford, Cup, and Beckham into that day's NFL, they are destroying souls. But it's because the NFL has just changed right now. Our schemes are more in depth and a little bit more like it just gets smarter every single year. So I think the team is hungry to be back on top, and Ernest evolving into a leader is what we need. Absolutely agree. And who knows who else it'll be? Like, what if it's some like undrafted rookie right now that's just like he's going to show up tomorrow in camp and impress the hell out of everybody. We don't see it until preseason, but he's absolutely lighting people up, and then he's the next combo next to Jordan Fuller or something like that. Like this stuff can happen, and I think that perfect comment. Unproven somehow means bad. Yeah, it's confusing to me. I don't understand why just because we haven't seen a guy, people are like, well, we don't even know him. Like I saw there was a post that the NFL did of all the players that wear number 0, and under Byron Young, it was like, who is this? Who is this? I don't know who this is. And it's like, it's Byron Young. It's like, oh, I don't know him. It's like, okay, like what is that? That doesn't mean he's just going to be bad this year. Like, and don't even get me started on Madden ratings. I swear. I don't even want to talk about it because that is such a frustrating topic. I don't understand why people take it so serious. I'm so confused by it. But it's like what? Matthew Stafford is a 80 or whatever he is. Like it's like, oh, how dare they? And it's like that doesn't mean he's gonna be bad. Like, don't they change those also weekly? Don't they just update them all the time? So who cares about the first one? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm super confused. Hey, Kurt. Dude, been a long time, man. Hope you're doing well. Long hair, don't care. Dude, it's been 1 year ago today that I got my last haircut. So this is a year of just neglect, really. Yeah, man. We'll see what happens. I've got no plans right now. I'm a nighttime DJ at a rock station, so I'm kind of just living life. Our own players had good playing time that they wouldn't have gotten usually last year because of injuries. I think that this year we will be good because they aren't completely immune to the game experience. That's a good point, too, is a lot of our second-year guys, such as Darian Kendrick and Kobe Durant, we get those guys in, yeah, you're right, into a year 2. Logan Bruss is kind of a wild card, too. We don't really know what he is. I would be a little – I'll be honest. I'm going to be a little bit bummed out if he's just a backup. I'll be a little bit sad about that because, like, well, damn it. Like, it's like we keep missing on the offensive line, man. Like, but to see Logan Bruss start, I think would be very, very positive. That'd be very good. But only if he like deserves it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see him just start because he was the first pick in our draft last year. I want to see him start because he's better than everybody else. But I also don't care. And I don't want that to sound bad because I feel like it probably does. But like, I don't care who is the best. I just want whoever is the best to be the one starting. You know what I mean? Like, I've got my preferences, but I'm also not in camp. I'm not in the film room. I'm not in the training room, stuff like that. So maybe there is somebody that's looking awesome. Thinking make a wild card. I don't think it's I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibilities for the Rams to win the West. And I think the Seattle Seahawks, they've done a very good job of drafting. So they do have a very good core and a strong roster up there. And obviously a good coaching staff, stuff like that. So they're going to be a fine team. I feel like the Seahawks float about 500 because also let's not pretend like it's not a super quarterback friendly system. We saw what Russell Wilson leaving that system looked like year one. You know what I mean? Not good. So it's a quarterback friendly system. I don't think that Geno Smith is all that. He's a fine quarterback, but he's not a guy that you should extend. I mean, he's the perfect quarterback. Isaiah Wynn from the Titans just got suspended first 3 games. We're getting news, dude. My phone's been lighting up over here. This is good stuff. Welcome back, football. Hell yeah, man. I've been missing football season so bad. But like I said, start of training camp, man. That's what it feels like. Start of the season. But yeah, we have what we're going to see this year, too, that we have not ever seen under Sean McVay is rookies getting ample playing time. We've seen rookies play, and like Jordan Fuller got some good playing time his rookie year. Ernest Jones got some good playing time his rookie year. Obviously, Durant and Kendrick got in there as well. But to see rookies come in and like have a legitimate role, such as a Byron Young rushing the passer, like he's going to have a legitimate role. He's probably just going to be a starter as an edge rusher, as a rookie. And that's something that we have not really seen is just like a full-on starting rookie on this team. We'll probably see it with Steve Avila on the offensive line. We'll probably see it with Byron Young. Trey Tomlinson, I feel like it's ample playing time. We probably see a pretty sick rotation at the other outside linebacker spot with guys like Nick Hampton, depending on what their camps look like and stuff. Kobe Turner on the defensive line, I think he could be a guy who's just in there a lot. The Turner, Copeland, and Donald defensive line, that excites me. That's like, hell yeah. It's like, try to run on us, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's the vibes I get. So it's fun stuff. But I think that this team could absolutely win the division. I just don't think it's really we'll see, Brett Singleton. This is what I'll tell you about this, man, because with the number of young guys we have on this team right now, and really our leadership falling down to Fuller, Jones, and Donald, I'm just stoked to see some continuity there. That's kind of where my brain is at with the whole Raheem Morris thing, and also I'm stoked that in the way that the Rams secondary looks right now, that what we are going to see is Aubrey Pleasant coaching these guys up, and he does not return based on what we saw from behind the grind. Aubrey Pleasant does not return if Raheem Morris isn't still here. So for that reason and the continuity, I'm totally fine with this. Yes, I would like somebody else. I've always wanted somebody else. I've wanted somebody else since Staley left. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't want Staley to leave. But for all that stuff, man, like, I don't know. It's the continuity for this year. It's fine. It's a development year anyway. So NFL fans and analysts have been talking about how bad the Rams were last year, saying that it'll carry over into this year. But as Dr. Hawthorne said, one can't move forward while constantly looking back. I have no idea who Dr. Hawthorne is, but that's the thing, man, is like last year was so out of character for this team that I just don't think it's reasonable to even look at as a comparison. I don't think it's reasonable to look at that last year and say that because something 2022, then something 2023. I just don't think that that's a real thing, except for like because we lost some guys on the starting lineup in like especially on defense. We lost a lot of guys on defense last year. Then we get new leaders this year. That's like kind of the only thing that I'm looking at right now. But based on injuries, based on the scheme that we were calling, I just don't think you can really realistically look at last year as any kind of real jumping off point to give you points to talk about for the 2023 Rams. I just don't think it's realistic. I'm stoked to see is Trey Tomlinson. He's an NFL pedigree. Yeah, dude, I've been very vocal that he is my number one guy. He is the guy that I am the most jacked for this season as far as our rookies go. And if Puka Nacua can stay healthy, which is obviously a big question, I'm very excited for him. But if I had to pick an offensive rookie that I'm excited for, I'm just going Avila. Just simply put, because I think he's just going to shore up that offensive line a little bit. I think he's got the right attitude, man. He's a brick wall. It's good stuff. Dude, Kurt, feel free to hop on, Kurt, if you would like to. I'll also, by the way, I'll drop this bad boy again. Anybody can hop on if you want to talk, chat with me a little bit. Lions are going to be good this year, though, for sure. I would be surprised if they're not. Actually, I like. I would. That's it. That's really it. I'd be surprised if the Lions weren't really awesome this year. Um, they've got all the pieces, man. They've got all the pieces to be a solid team. And then this is also your time to pounce, no pun intended there. But like this is it. Like with Rodgers leaving the division, the Vikings losing guys like Dalvin Cook. I mean, this is the time right now to take advantage. And the Bears, we already know the Bears are. They are Justin Fields, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, but this is the time right now. I think the Lions win that division probably by a good margin. The Packers are fine, but like now this is the year that we see if LaFleur can actually be a head coach because he's had that nice safety blanket of having Rodgers be his quarterback this entire time. So this is the first time we got to see if he can coach. Like we can use the comparison for McVay. I mean, Jared Goff went 0-7 under Jeff Fisher, and then the very next year we were 10-win team in the playoffs. I mean, you lose to the Falcons at home, it's Coliseum, but like, I mean, that was a massive jump, massive improvement. So yeah, Lions will be very good this year. They've got some players, man. And I tried to tell Kurt right away, man, when the Lions signed Brad Holmes, I was like, dude, like y'all just got a gem, man, a gem. And I think that the Lions fans are finally seeing that. That he is one hell of a talent scout, man. He can put together a roster. So yeah, he was one of the biggest losses that the Rams could have had, I think. Brad Holmes was underrated in his role, and I wanted to see him stick around and take over for Les once Les was gone. But it's also like that's a selfish move because obviously to see him be able to move on and be successful somewhere else is very, very awesome. But selfishly, I wanted him to stay with the Rams because I think he's awesome. I feel away with that a lot of people though. It's like I want them to stay with the Rams just because I like them, but it's also like you don't want to stop anybody's advancement. You know what I mean? Oh, that's the same one. Who scores the first tutty this year? Let's see. I was gonna go with Akers, man. I'm gonna say that we get just like down there, and then Akers punches it in, man. It's gonna be good stuff, dude. Thank you. I think it's Bill. I hope it's Bill. I've been calling you that this entire time. So if it's not, I do apologize. If it is, though, freaking nailed it. So that's cool. But yeah, man, I'm starting to really, really enjoy these now that they're becoming like a regular thing. Yeah, definitely digging the weekly chats where we can just talk. Usually, I have people hop on with me, and you can feel free to, but it's also not required. Van or Cam, that's reasonable. Van or Cam makes sense. I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, well, it's going to be this guy, and you're just guessing. Like, my point is, because I hate fantasy football as well. As long as it got horns on their helmets, man, I don't care who's scoring. I don't care. I don't care who it is at all. All of our touchdowns all year long could come from Hunter Long. Hell yeah, Hunter. Like Hunter Long and Zach Evans, the only two scores this year. I'm here for it. As long as they're Rams players, man, I'm in for it. Do you think that if we do get off to a really slow start, we trade AD at the deadline? No, I don't. I think that is a story that, unfortunately, what is Colin Cowherd's Robin name? Colin Cowherd's the Batman to Robin, who is, what is his name? I don't know, his sidekick. But he said that was like his bold prediction, and that has been reported as news. It's not real. I would be stunned if even with like an 0-6 start, if the Rams were like, all right, we got to get rid of Donald. Because at that point, you're basically saying like, we suck. How can we make this way worse? Like, and I know I get like the whole like value for the future is like that, but it's like at what point do you like, all right, this year's terrible. How do we make it suck so much harder? Get rid of our best player, one of the best players in franchise history, to piss off the fan base as well? Hell yeah. Like, I just don't think that that's a reasonable course of action. And it's because of those things. It's because like if if you get rid of Aaron Donald, there's not a single fan of this team who's like, I really like Aaron Donald that much. Like, he's okay, I guess. Like, there's nobody that is saying that. So if you get rid of one of your fan favorites, one of your best franchise players of all time, you create a ripple effect that just frustrates so many people, and I just don't think that's a reasonable option. I really don't. Oh, I missed this one. Proves a point that Raheem Morris is a very average DC. When the Rams had Miller, Ramsey, and the other contributors on D, you can turn them loose. So DC mistakes are easily forgiven. That's kind of exactly my point, and why I'm actually excited to not have those guys this year is because we get to now see exactly how good Raheem Morris is. Based on last year and going into this season, and now how many young guys we have, we get to see exactly how good Sean McVay is. We get to see exactly how good our coaching staff really is in a development year. So that's why I'm totally fine with whatever happens. Poor shape that the Cardinals are in makes my heart so happy. Dude, those Cardinals are a disaster. I'm here for every single bit of it. They are so bad this year. In fact, I've already put money on them getting the number one overall pick, or at least ending with the worst record, because number one overall pick, that's a hard one because then you also have to deal with potential trades as it gets closer. So it's like when you put money on that, it's got to be like that. They have to be the ones to pick or whatever. But like, none of that's relevant. But like, they are straight up so bad. Pew, pew, explosions. That is my favorite thing. Oh my gosh, dude. It's so funny. Because like, Nick Sirianni's obviously a total dork, and I still don't buy the Sirianni hype. I know he just was in the Super Bowl and stuff like that, but look at that roster, dog. Like, look at that roster. But you just had to not. It's like he got into an F-15 and just didn't crash it. That doesn't mean you're an awesome pilot, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I have different mixed emotions here. But then I didn't think that anybody could be dorkier than Nick Sirianni. And then here comes Jonathan Gannon, man, coming to the Arizona Cardinals, and he's the most awkward human being I've ever seen in my life. How in the world is this guy going to get players pumped up to, like, go out and crush souls on Sundays? It makes no sense, man. It makes zero sense to me. Like, even Kyler is, like, looking at it like, it's like, okay, like, you just being such a dork. And, like, initial meeting, you're like, hey, what's up, man? Dude, I told him, man, it's like, I came here because I needed a quarterback, man. It's like, also, hey, what's up, dude? Like, where's all that stuff at? Where's like the normal pleasantries? And where's like the conversation where you just like bring them into your office and you're like, all right, man, here's the deal. I had other offers. I came here because I wanted to win with you. Like, let's do this. Like, I feel like certain conversations need to be behind closed doors. And if they're not behind closed doors, then it feels very like it's for social media. And social media is not real life. It's not real. It doesn't exist. All right. Social media is just a weird thing that it's just a website that people can post to and talk with each other. It's not actual life. It's not actual life. It can have a lot of impact. I get that. But it's not real life. Deal with things that are in front of you. All right. Not the whole rest of the world. Which I realize I'm streaming on the internet right now. I realize how ridiculous that sounds, but I stand by it. All right. And Kurt, yes, I did, man. I talked about Brad Holmes because he's awesome. He's an incredible. He started with the Rams in 2001, went through all that stuff, and then worked his way up over the years too, man. And then through the LA trip, obviously stuck around, and then just as when he became the director of player personnel, I mean, the Rams roster definitely took a jump, and I definitely credit him for sure. Not for all of it or anything, but definitely a good portion. He was very talented, very smart guy. I love Brad Holmes. Give him back, Kurt. Do you think Whitworth will be at the Rams preseason game? Are you talking about it in Denver? If it's in Denver, I'd say maybe not. Is he on the broadcast team? If he's on the broadcast team, then yeah. Typically they'll all go. That's how I met DeMarco Farr in 2010. I think it was week 11, if I'm not mistaken. It's good stuff. Is it just me, or does Mike Florio always bag on the Rams in his articles? Every time I see an article that's negative, I check to see who wrote it, and lo and behold, Mike's name shows up. Yeah, he's pretty bitter about the Rams. Bill seems to think that that's because of the 70s, but I don't know if he would hold a grudge that long. Maybe he will. I don't know. He seems like a grudge-holdy kind of guy. Something about his eyebrows, man. That guy's shifty, and I don't know how to explain it. Every time I hear him talk about anything, it's like he's either telling us all of the truth and not lying at all, or he's just a sick lawyer and he's manipulating information to make it sound like he knows exactly what's going on when really he's got no idea. He's either a total genius or a total dumbass, and I cannot nail it down. And that's the problem, right? That's the problem, is because I can't figure it out. I can't figure out which one it is. Is he a genius or is he a total idiot? We may never know. Let's see here. Carson, new head coach, gonna be acting like a mom trying to get Kyler off his Xbox. Dude, maybe, or maybe he's gonna be playing with him. Dude, that's so funny. The Cardinals are such a disaster. I'm gonna be honest. I will like. They may not win a game. They're so bad. Their roster is terrible. Their coach is the biggest goober of all time. Their quarterback doesn't even like this game. He probably is sitting here so mad he didn't pick baseball, right? Especially some of those mega deals that are coming out. Holy moly. Because what if he was actually good at baseball? He could be signing like a $500 million deal right now. Instead, he's just going to get smoked by Aaron Donald. In fact, hold on a second. That's what makes me mad about Kyler Murray, man. He will not let Aaron Donald get to him to wreck his soul, man. He always just falls down. Every time Kyler Murray is getting sacked by Aaron Donald, he's always just like, like falling down like a little toddler. That drives me nuts, man. It's like, you can't take the heat, Kyler. But get out of the kitchen, man. Do you find it hard to part with old Ram stuff? Dude, I don't know, dude. I'll part with Ram stuff. Actually, yeah, I really don't. I like to just keep my stuff, I guess. I don't know. I've got a bunch of really interesting stuff that is, some of it's going to start to make an appearance on the backdrop here, especially when we get back to normal videos, not streamed like this, because I actually got, nobody cares about this, but I got a bunch of my grandma's old Bronco stuff, and some of it is so sick. With her being one of my favorite human beings to ever exist, yeah, I'm definitely gonna hold on to her memorabilia real tight. I think part of her chaosness in being a Bronco fan and how she would act about that, I think is definitely leaked into my fandom of the Rams. Of like, you cannot tell me otherwise. Like, it's like she didn't care. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it was. I don't know. I like that. So she's got a bunch of really, really good stuff, and yeah, some of it'll pop up in the back. It's all Bronco stuff. I'm not a Bronco fan, but that's either way. How crazy am I? And a question there. Maximum. All right. Anyway, that McVay's rookie season for us means so much more than a Super Bowl win. I loved winning that Super Bowl, but it felt like such a long time coming. But finally having a winning season after all those bad years, man. Dude, that was like legitimately, though. And it was like pretty quick. What was it? That was the year where we opened against the Colts and just absolutely smoked them. And for some reason, we always smoke the Colts, which is almost random, but hey, that's cool, you know? But yeah, it did mean so much. It was just such a breath of fresh air. Like, I remember talking to you about that, Brett, where it was like even losing the playoff game, it was like, who cares, man? We were there. Like, and then like Rams fans as a whole got real spoiled pretty quick after that, especially going to the Super Bowl. So like, I was like, we're better than this. It's like, well, yeah, maybe, but like, do you remember 2 years ago, dude? Like, it's like, we're not there anymore, and I'm here for this. Like, to be able to celebrate that NFC Championship game against the Saints, where just like that kick goes in overtime, like that moment alone meant so much. But then, yeah, you're right. Like clinching the playoffs with a win over the Lions in 2017, that was like, it was a pick that ended the game, and it was like, it's over. Like, we're there. We're in the playoffs. Like, and it was like such a crazy thing. So, next question here. Kyler Murray, unironic. I'm not trying to blow you off there, dude. I'm just not. That's not a topic. That's Kyler Murray, unironically, just pisses me off so much. Yeah, man. I don't know. He's. I don't know. I love football, and it's weird when I see somebody who's in a situation that like many people would murder people for, and they don't. They just take it for granted. And I feel like he does. I don't know. Just seems like a real annoying dude to be around. Absolutely agree. I don't feel like I would get along with Kyler Murray. Even when he was like a Texas A&M guy, because I'm an A&M fan. Even when he was at Texas A&M, it was like there was something about it. It was like I don't know about this guy. And that was when because he was there with like Kyle Allen. Who else was there? There was three quarterbacks on that team that ended up going to the NFL. Kyler being one of them, Kyle Allen being one of them. Who was that other one? Maybe it was just Johnny. Maybe my brain's like trying to dig deeper. It's not that deep. But yeah, there was just something about him that was like, I don't know. But I liked Kyle Allen a lot. He was cool, but never really developed into much. See how A&M does this year. I'm expecting a bigger jump, but every time I feel like the Aggies will be good, they're not. And I also work on Saturday, so it's so hard to watch the games. So hard to watch the games. How'd you become a Rams fan? I became one when my dad took me to the wild card game versus Atlanta at the Coliseum. Oh, damn. So you're like, okay. No, I love that. I'm not trying to like, because there's no gatekeeping on Ram Showcase. All fans are welcome. Um, Never forgetting that, especially since I was right next to Snoop Dogg leaving the game. Yo, that's a sick day. Hell yeah, man. That make you a fan for sure, man. That's so fun. Um, that's cool, man. I love that actually. I know that like this like a I don't know how old you are or anything like that. I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but like I know that there's like a whole generation of Rams fans that are going to be new fans and coming in when with this whole LA like being back in LA thing. And then there's going to be some fans that are in St. Louis that always just kind of be like, well, it was a little bit of a short stint, but I'm here forever. You know what I mean? And I love that because I became a fan when the team was in St. Louis, but I'm in Colorado, so I've got no city loyalties. I just like the Rams, and my fandom did start on Marshall Faulk. I was a big Marshall Faulk fan. Just loved watching him run. It was just one of those things, man. And it was I think at my age at the time too, being like 8, 9 years old, that seeing him and just knowing that every single time he touched the football, something awesome might happen. I was here for that, man. Like I was absolutely locked in on that. So there was definitely players in that era that I could have attached to, but it was Marshall Faulk, and he went over to the Rams. So I started watching him there, and it was just he was just so exciting, man. And I quickly fell in love with Torrey Holt as well. Watching that '99 season, absolutely loved watching Holt play. Just something about the way he would run his routes, and like I loved his whole story about like in practice he doesn't leave till he catches 100 balls off the jugs, like stuff like that. I loved the work ethic. I loved the positive, like they weren't like out here getting into trouble and stuff like that. And I know there's different stories about Marshall Faulk and all that stuff, but like just the way he was on the field, man, it's like, and then of course you go into that season, that '99 year, because I don't know if I consider myself a Rams fan in that season, but you had Marshall Faulk, who I absolutely loved. Then you had like the whole like Torrey Holt being a rookie, and then like the whole Kurt Warner story, where it's like all of a sudden it was like watching Trent Green get hurt in the preseason. I still that clip lives in my head, where Isaac Bruce slams his helmet to the ground. He's so mad because it's like finally got a quarterback, man. We finally got a team that we could win with, and our quarterback gets hurt in the preseason. Like, and it was just one of those like moments, man, where it's like the almost deflating, but then of course the famous line, "We will rally around Kurt Warner and we will play good football." Like, and that kind of stuff was just that whole season was just so exciting to me, and I think it just kind of locked me in, man. Like that whole '99 season really just captured my young mind. I was 9, I was 8. I was 8 and just locked in, man. I was so locked in on that story. Torrey Holt's rookie season being unbelievable, Isaac Bruce being just solid, so awesome. Yeah, it was just fun, man. It was just so much fun to watch, and then it ends the way it did too. Like it's like that whole playoff run, the Titans even getting to the Super Bowl was absolute madness with that Music City Miracle, Lorenzo Neal throwing the ball. Like that stuff is wild, man. And so like I don't know, to look back on that and just remember me being 8 years old watching that unfold, it just seemed so surreal, and it just captured my attention, man. So kind of was locked in after that. Of course, the next year you lose in the playoffs, and then the next year losing the Super Bowl. Like And then after that, man, it just kind of. I remember that Seahawks playoff game was 2004, and that being the last one, the last playoff game. And we didn't know that at the time. You know, it's at the time it's Mark Bolger. We beat the Seahawks 3 times and then lose to the Falcons, and then it's like I just who knew, but I was already locked in at that point, and so I wasn't gonna change my mind, man. I wasn't gonna team hop and all that stuff. So I just locked in on the Rams, and I'm still here today. So 16 from LA, dude. Hell yeah, man. I love that. A diehard fan since diehard ever since. So really since they've been in LA, they've been my team. Hell yeah, man. That's the coolest part, man. It's just is like locking in, and you're just like, that's it. That's your team now. Like, there's something about that I absolutely love. Like, and I don't care how you found it. It just that you're here now. That's awesome, man. Yeah, and that was a good that was a good time to hop on for sure, man. That's fun stuff. And I did the same thing. Hopped on at the sick time, but then kind of lived through it, and then witnessed what I call the dark era, and then moving back to LA, and now back into the clearer skies, I suppose. I say that reluctantly off of a 5-win season, but I don't feel like this era is over. The McVay Stafford era is one that we'll talk about forever. I kind of talked about that in my video called "The Good Old Days." That was talk about like Todd Gurley and Jared Goff and stuff too, but it's like we will remember these days for sure. Like we are already talking about like, man, I remember Todd Gurley at his peak. Like we're already saying that kind of stuff. So to know that in 20 years, like, so you'll be, 36 talking about like, oh man, I remember watching Aaron Donald, man, that guy was crazy. Or like, I remember Cooper Kupp's 2021 season, man, that was wild. It was unreal. Like to be able to know that we'll be able to look back at these times right now and say that we watched these players who are on this team right now, I think is so exciting, man. There's something about that that just, I don't know, keeps me so hooked and so pumped for the season starts. Like knowing that like Cooper Kupp, one of the wide receivers that we will always talk about for the rest of our lives. We're going to talk about Cooper Kupp being one of the best wide receivers this team's ever seen, and we got to watch him play this year, next month. We got to watch him play, or maybe not next month, but September we got to watch him play. Hell yeah, dude. We're 7 weeks out from watching Cooper Kupp take a football field again and Aaron Donald take a football field again. And who knows about these young guys, man? Who knows in 20 years if we're going to be talking about like, hey, man, I remember watching Byron Young's rookie season. That thing was unbelievable. Like that could happen, man. And that's what kind of keeps me going. And you never know. Never know what's going to happen. And that's what is so thrilling to me. So exciting. Absolutely love it. So for you to be 16 and getting into it now, man, I'm pumped for you, dude. Pumped for you, man. And if you ever want to hop on, man, feel free. We'll keep it friendly, and we'll keep it family friendly. I mean, well, obviously we'll keep it friendly. That'd be so weird if it was like, I do YouTube. No, like, but some people like that actually. But yeah, man, that's super exciting. You picked a cool team to be part of, man. The history of this team is really cool. The fan base is awesome, albeit never happy, but you know what? That's just the way it is. That's just the way Rams fans are. Always split on something, You'll learn that. Always split on something. Can never agree. Rams fans as a whole cannot agree on anything. Since this is more or less a rebuilding year. Yeah, rebuilding. I kind of say I choose development year, but yeah, it's the same thing. That's the term I prefer though, is development year. I'd be happy if the Rams win only a couple games, but stomp on the 49ers and the other NFC West teams. Dude, that's the thing is with it being a development year too, it's like these guys have not developed that hatred yet, but Aaron Donald has. Aaron Donald's developed that hatred, and hopefully before that game starts, he's sitting there looking at hopefully that whole week leading up. Was it week 2? Hopefully that whole week leading up into that game, Aaron Donald's sitting there in the meeting rooms going over old games, like see what they did here, or see Debo taking this touchdown, or like all that stuff, and hopefully just firing up all these young guys, man, and making them hate them too, because that's what it's all about, right? That rivalry, that hatred. And like, we'll be friendly to fans. Fans are fans, man. Fans are all here for the same reason. Fans are all here just to support their squad, and that's totally acceptable. I'll never bash a fan personally, unless, of course, they deserve it, which does happen. Let's be real. It does happen. Sometimes they deserve it. But, like, I hate the 49ers, not 49ers fans. I hate some 49ers fans, but that's an individual thing, not because they're 49ers fans. You get what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? It is Bill. Freaking nailed it. Hell yeah. Jack Young, damn. That's amazing, dude. That's legitimately so sick. I know we've got the story from the preseason game a couple years ago, 2021, a Super Bowl year. Seems like every time the Rams play a preseason game in Denver, they go to the Super Bowl, huh? I'm saying. So put your money on it. All of it. All the money. But what I was saying, we got to meet some really cool people for that. I met Jake Funk's mom. That was before. That was, oh gosh, she's starting to run together now. That's a problem, right? But Nick Scott is who we talked to for a while, man. He was so cool. One of the most down to earth dudes ever. That was so sick, man. So just yeah, he was awesome. It's unfortunate that he's gone, but Bengals got themselves a hell of a player. So you have to take out one number in our history, all the players who ever wore it. What is it? Ooh, that's so tough, man. I'm just gonna go with 8. I'm gonna go. Wait, no. I take it back. I take it back. Because I would take away Matt Gay, and he had some really good moments. Dude, that's so hard. I feel like maybe like 96 would be like a reasonable one, or like one of those suck numbers like 46, like those numbers that like nobody dope ever wears. Like you just kind of get stuck with it. You know what I mean? Like no one's ever like, oh man, 47's available. Hell yeah, dude. Like like that doesn't really happen unless you're like John Lynch, I guess. But like, yeah, a whole bunch of those. What does this mean? Hold on. Stu Jackson's tweeting. Rams have announced Kevin Peterson, Henry Burris, Ellis Wims, Perry Parks, Cameron Spence, Kyle Bolton, and DP Hyman as their 2023 Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellows for training camp. Oh, so does that mean Double D's out, man? Dang it. Dante Dion was being a coach, man. That's sick. Oh, I didn't see this little caveat over here. Has to be okay, 47 counts. 47, 46 counts because that's like the biggest safeties. Or running backs. Steven Davis, Carolina Panthers. Come on now. That's a real answer. Stand by. I feel like it's so dark in here right now. My lights are burnt out though, man. And they burn at 1,000,000,000 degrees. They burn at the temperature of the sun, so I'm not turning them on. Sorry for you. I'm not going to sit here and get sweaty just so you can see my face. Actually, I'm trying to get a new light. LEDs, dog, because they don't burn my retinas off if I'm sitting in front of them for too long like these guys do. You know who you are. All right. It's funny because Coop was my favorite player since 2018. I was crushed when he tore his ACL. Yeah, it does happen to me. And then he had a monster year. Already had his jersey 2 years in advance. Hell yeah, dude. That's the thing, man, is get jerseys too, man. Like, that's my advice is just get stuff. Get stuff. Get cool things. Get things that are awesome. Get things like I've got a wine bottle right here that just says World Champions with the Rams logo on it. I didn't need that. Here too. God, that's impossible. Wearing the shirt right now. I've got a Super Bowl hat in my car that I was wearing. What other Super Bowl stuff? I've got a ring sitting over here, man. It's like get stuff. Just get things. And it's you'll never be mad about it. You'll never be mad about it. My friend painted this. God, I hate doing this. It's so hard. I feel like a weatherman, but like on his first day. My friend Eva made this for me. Because I was like, she was like making those like with the art where you do that. And I don't know what to say about it, but like, but that's the thing is like I was like, oh, you should make me a Rams one. I'll put it on my backdrop. And she was like, what? I don't want to. It was like, That's so sick now. That's like one of my favorite things that I have on my wall. It's so cool. This flag here came from John, who was here earlier. John got me this from the very last game that was played in the city of St. Louis. That was from the Rams Bucks Color Rush game in 2015. So the year before the Rams moved out, and their last two games were on the road. So it was the last St. Louis game. That flag came from that. That's so sick. Like the stories of it, man. Like this flag, the autographs that I've got on this flag, you can kind of see them on the horn here. But I know there's a Rob Havenstein's down below. But Coach Fossil, John Johnson. Trying to remember all of them actually. Damn it. That kind of sucks. But in there, I got Jared Goff's on that one. I got a football over here signed by Will Witherspoon and who was that other one? I don't know if I looked at it, but I'm not gonna do that right now. But it's like get stuff, dude. Get load up because it's awesome. Like it's just awesome, man. I love it. So like yeah, to get the jerseys too. I have a Michael Sam jersey, which yeah probably isn't the coolest piece of Rams equipment that I own, but like a Cortland Finnegan jersey. I got a Tavon Austin. I have a Trey Mason. My newest ones, I've got like the Stafford. I have a Jordan Fuller. I've got 5 custom Sheriff Joe Bags jerseys because I can't get traded or released at any given moment. Janoris Jenkins jersey. Yeah, dude, just like get it all. It's awesome. It's awesome to have. It's awesome. I'm a little sad that I gave away my Aaron Donald jersey. I feel kind of stupid for it now, but it's in a good home, and he's excited for it, so that's okay. Dude, what's up? Come in here. Beat the whiners. You. It's funny. I love that, like, just like at any moment, we can just talk trash about the Niners, and everybody's like, hell yeah. That's just cool. My family that are Niner fans. Oof. My condolences. We have debates who really owns who, and I say that I think we do because we want it when it mattered. Reasonable. That's the thing is like if they can win every regular season game from here until I die, if every time we meet in the playoffs the Rams win, I'm fine with that. I accept that trade. Like I'm for that. That's totally acceptable. Also, we'll drop this again just in case anybody wants to pop in. Feel free. Anybody's welcome to join me and talk some Rams ball. Maybe you have a question for me. Maybe you want some clarity. Maybe you want to you see something in here and you want the story of it. There's a story behind every single piece that's behind me here. Oh, that's the wrong way. I got the stadium. Here's a Bud Light with Rams logo on it. Ram Showcase mug. Here's a, what is that? It's too dark. Oh, that's my sheriff hat. Then I got another beer can. Here's my Super Bowl ring here. Mini helmets. Football to be signed, but we couldn't because it was COVID. Football that did get signed. Super Bowl football. Super Bowl cup. Pictures of my niece. There's something for everybody here, man. But yeah, and this is not all of it. I actually do have stuff boxed up, which kind of makes me sad, but I don't know. I've got this thing that normally lights up, but it doesn't right now. So, see. You see it. You see what I see. What? All right. Yeah, it's a little Ram Showcase thing. Was drinking coffee earlier out of my Rams country mug. I've got my Super Bowl champion koozie over here. Dude, we go big. My friend was sitting in this chair today. my car, dude, everything. My backpack right here is Rams. Yeah, we gotta go big. Hat time. Do you usually get to the Rams? Oh, and then you said what? I thought you were like hat time. All right, this is a hat here. We got okay. Dang, Naheem Hines jet ski accident. He's gonna miss the season, bro. Ah, that sucks, dude. It's a knee injury. What time do you usually get the Rams Broncos preseason game? I assume you make a day of it, dude. All day. I'll probably be out there. Games at 7 hour time. So yeah, I'll probably be out there. Probably like 10 or 11. I'll be out there all day. What's really cool is there's a lot of Bronco fans out there that are just absolutely unbelievable, man. Like you drop a little 5C into their jar and then you eat all day, dude. It's awesome. I usually try to I try to be reasonable about it. You know what I mean? Like I always try to pay more than what I'm eating simply for hospitality. You know what I mean? So like I'm not gonna drop a $5 and then drink all your beers and crush like 17 brats and then like take chips. It's like that. It's like if I drop a $5 in there, it's like I'm just gonna have a brat, some chips. I'm good to go, man. I got my beer. Like, so yeah, but we'll be out there all day for sure. I usually go to look at the park list here. I think that there might be some different things going on with the parking this year, so I might try to buy a parking pass early, actually. This computer, come on, man. Also, by the way, dude, obviously we have joint practices with the Broncos this year. I don't know if they are up for if they're open to public yet. We should get that answered pretty soon. Okay, $93. Come on, that's so much money to park my car somewhere. Oh, and these ones are now closed. So, oh, it's a VIP now. What the fun? Okay, so I'll probably just go to probably lot E, if I guess, man. 11. Come on. All right. Maybe we'll park at Ball Arena and just walk over. We'll see what happens, man. But either way, the joint practices, yeah, that's I don't know if they're open yet, but I believe that they will be. They typically are. So yeah, I'm fully planning on making trips up every day during those, so I can just kind of hang out. So like I gotta maybe I'll bring that flag to try to get signed. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a whole bunch of festivities going on. But it's gonna be an awesome time, man. We make it a whole day event. It'll be a Saturday, so I'm gonna take that day off. I'm already off on Sunday, Monday, so we'll be good to go there to just party it up, man. Have a good time and just have fun. And if any Rams fans are looking for tickets, we got what I feel like is a pretty solid deal on tickets. If you want to hit me up, if you just want to be in the building. For sure. Just let me know because I'm just trying to get Rams fans in there. I was able to come across tickets and stuff. So you park the RG Aquarium place. I don't think this will tell me. I usually try to get as close as I can. That way I can keep stuff in my car, and then like at the end of the game, like shoot out to my car real quick, and then like pick up like my football, and then like bring that back up with me. You know, so it's like this one here is the one that I want to get. I want to bring this year. It's actually really nice. It's all like embroidered on it. Yeah, it's nice stuff. But that's the one I want to bring. But again, you can't bring footballs into the game, so you either got to check it in to their little thing outside, or like I said, just keep it in my car. And then after the game, run out real quick, stop on my car, snag that, and then go run up to the tunnels where the players come out. And we will meet players. That's just a thing that happens. Not all, and you never know who. But we have seen like Sam Bradford come out. Todd Gurley came out. He didn't really sign anything or anything, but he came out. Trying to think to just like scatter it of just like Jake Funk, Chase Reynolds, Nick Scott, Rob Havenstein, Chris Long's come out. Yeah, dude, like that's just a thing, man. It's gonna be fun. Either way, it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Just because it's Rams. Rams up in Denver. Last time we partied so hard, dude. And then I'll show. I'm trying to pull it up this way. I'm not good at StreamYard yet. I don't know if I will be. But yeah, I shared this photo with one of my friends because it was like, so that's where we ended up getting. That's Jalen Ramsey, by the way. Me just yelling things to Jalen Ramsey on the side of the game at the end. But yeah, it's fun stuff, man. But yeah, we'll definitely. I got 3 players' gloves when we got up there. That was kind of cool. And then yeah, meet players after the game too. My buddy Aaron, who's out with us, he's from Iowa. Nick Scott threw his hat, so the sideline hat that he got that. And at first, like, it's chaos. There's players coming in, and it's like 90-man rosters at that point. So it's just like it's crazy people coming up. And so things are just getting tossed up, and you're just grabbing stuff or whatever. And the only reason that he knew it was Nick Scott is he looked inside of it, and it said 33 on it. It said 33 Scott, and it was like, oh crap, man, that's Nick Scott's hat. Like, it's so sick. He got signed by him and stuff. Like I said, at the end, he was so nice at the end. You sleep without football? Hell yeah, dude. You got to, man. You got to. That's just the way it is, man. And I'm just like I'm big into getting stuff now, man. Like it's been so much fun to like this one here. There's a glove right here. It's Rob Havenstein's glove. I also have Dante Dion's glove. But not just that, man. It's like even this one. Disturbed drumstick. I got this one at the show just the other day up in Denver. We ended up getting front row and stuff like that. It's like I'm just all about that right now, man. It's fun. Just trying to. It's just cool stuff to have. It's like I never want to sell this stuff. You know, it's just awesome to have. Nobody wants to come on and talk with me. It's okay. It's been me this whole time. You guys aren't annoyed with me yet? Don't answer that. Actually. Yeah, that's fine then. I'm going to record the podcast. I'll either do that. I'll finish it either tonight or tomorrow morning before I go to work and get that out. Some of the topics, just so y'all know, we are going to be diving into a little bit of rookie stuff. Okay. We'll talk about the Stafford stuff, but now it's a little bit old news, so I'll kind of try to take a fresh take on that a little bit. And then we will talk about Madden and how, how that is. And we also have a Hard Knocks segment. We will also talk about uniforms. So we also found out, by the way, because obviously I haven't seen it yet. I currently don't have Netflix. Just don't need it right now. But I am sad about it because the second that I don't have Netflix anymore is like when Quarterbacks comes out, and then like also Tom Segura dropped his new special. I love stand-up comedy, but it's I want to watch Quarterbacks really, really bad, but I would say I don't know. We'll see what happens. But either way, I say all that to say this is that we actually found out that Matthew Stafford turned down the opportunity to participate in Quarterbacks. And I don't know if that was for just this last year or if he would be willing to do it again this year. But if I had to guess, or not guess, if I had to give 3 names that I would love to see on Quarterbacks this upcoming season, it would be Matthew Stafford. It would be Russell Wilson, and it would be Josh Allen. I think those 3 would make for an incredible series because you got Russell Wilson and all the mess that has happened in Denver last year and going into this year. And then you have Matthew Stafford, who is just like obviously in just pretty unique situation right now with so many young guys on this team and based on what happened last year, but he's a Super Bowl winner, stuff like that. And you have Josh Allen, who is an absolute superstar, but can't get over that hump and has struggled and has gotten like not individually worse over the years, but like his team gets less far every year, it seems like. So to dive into that process would be really interesting. I would also really like to see Justin Herbert, mainly because I've just an interest there, personal interest. I just think to see what his weeks look like, I would be very, very interested in. Geno would be an interesting one, but I feel like it would just be an exposure a little bit, like Aaron Donald, or not Aaron Donald, excuse me, Aaron Rodgers. It's like it's not good for fans to see more from Aaron Rodgers, because the more you see from Aaron Rodgers, the more you're like, this guy's kind of a tool, huh? Like, and that's just it. Like, the more you see from certain people, the less you like them. But like, if we saw a lot from Matthew Stafford, I think we'd be pumped about it. I think a lot of people would be pumped about it. Russell Wilson, I think, would be an interesting, just a case study of just saying that, like, just looking into his brain, and can you break that facade down a little bit and get further into it. So who else would be a really good one? Rams house says Mariota kind of boring. I mean, yeah, he's a backup though. I mean, that's the thing, is you don't really need to go into backups. Jimmy would be a very interesting one though, actually, with the Raiders, who's now going to be there. They missed their chance, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but like to move on from Jimmy, because he passed his physical. That was kind of a gray area there, whether he was going to pass that physical on his foot, and if he didn't, contract just disappears. It just Thanos is out of there. And I don't even know if I use that right. I've never seen that movie, but somebody hates that comment. I don't watch a lot of movies, but either way, I would like to see Tua would be interesting. Tannehill might be interesting, but I also feel like he just gets benched, right? Like, so maybe not. Daniel Jones, I would be kind of curious for, not overly, I guess. Jalen Hurts would be interesting for sure. I don't know. There's a lot of good options, obviously. Like, there's only 32 of these jobs in the world, and it's a very intense position to be put in. And to see how different personality types handle that, I think is really interesting. So, like I said, I haven't seen it. I'm excited to, but yeah, next year though, I already got picked up. So those would be my picks if I had to pick three. If I like was given the power, just be like, these guys have to do it. It would definitely be Stafford, Russell Wilson, and Josh Allen. That would just be it. Burrow is that's an interesting call. Is what Rams House is coming in here with. That's an interesting call as well, because Joe Burrow being who he is, like, I think people would leave that loving Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow is like pretty dope, right? Like, not only is he good at football, but he's like a cool dude. So like, it's perfect. It's the exact, he's personality wise, I feel like he's almost the exact opposite of an Aaron Rodgers, where like the more I learn about Aaron Rodgers, the less I like him. I think he's an extremely talented quarterback and all that stuff. And maybe I'm just misunderstanding him as a human. I've never interacted with him individually, face to face or anything. So obviously I can't form all of my opinion on certain things, but like, I don't know. Just the more I learn from him, or the more I hear him talk, I'm like, this guy's a bummer. No, somebody. Let's see. Oh, I missed one here. It was Kirk Cousins is the reason you watched? Dude, Kirk Cousins is such a dweeb, man. But I don't know. He's fine. I don't like dislike Kirk Cousins, but I also don't like. He doesn't excite me. You know what I mean? Like, seeing that Kirk Cousins is on something doesn't make me turn it on, but it doesn't make me turn it off. You know what I mean? Like, if he's there, that's fine. But I have no interest in like Kirk Cousins as like a human, I guess. But again, I am excited to watch it, because who knows? Who knows? Watching him be a dork might be, like you said, unintentionally funny. So there's that part of it. What do we want to talk about before I hop on out of here? Because I do need to, maybe do a podcast. Maybe we'll see. Oh, so he's not the reason you watched. Okay. It's so hard to understand your tone in just this comment section. It's just funny to see. That's all. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's why I want to see Kyler Murray. How funny would that be if Kyler Murray gets on there and it's just like him at home playing games? It would be the biggest disappointment for the Rams. Dude, I can't answer that. You know I can't answer that. I don't even know if I have guesses right now. I mean, I can guess 2-2 out well, but I also feel like that's like shooting on a little tyke hoop or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. And the only reason that I say that that's an easy option is because he hasn't done anything yet. So it's like to say he's going to be a disappointment this year is like, well, yeah, probably. Like, will he maybe be good? Yeah, maybe. But what surprises you more? If Tutu's good or if Tutu's bad? It surprises me a hell of a lot more if Tutu's good. I know that much. That's kind of how I always try to equate it into my brain. Is like, what would surprise me more? If they're awesome or if they suck? And if Tutu's awesome, that's shocking to me. If Tutu kind of sucks, well, yeah. It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. And it's not to talk trash about anybody. I really hope he's awesome. We haven't seen anything to this day that would make us to give any legitimate points to say that, yeah, he's going to be good this year. How's the O-line looking this year? Dude, ask me this in a few days because with camp starting tomorrow, unfortunately, I don't really have an answer for you, man. But I'm excited for it simply because we get a little bit of fresh blood in there. You create some more competition because, like, even though Noteboom started at left tackle last year and has a little bit higher of a cap number because of his extension, there is something to be said about bringing in, Steve and having Jackson there still. That like he's now got competition. He's not just getting handed that job anymore, and he may not start. Like that's a very real possibility that Noteboom doesn't start at left tackle. It's left guard losing David Edwards creates an entire open position there. We heard that there was some reps in like the offseason camp stuff that that Coleman Shelton was getting number one reps at center instead of Brian Allen, which if that's going to be the case, Brian Allen should probably just be cut. And that would be my guess. Because we're going to see some cuts that surprise us. It's not just going to be like scrape off the bottom part of the roster. Sometimes it's going to be like, well, even though this guy's here now and he is better than this guy now, it's like, but if we can get this guy some reps or we can get him into like keep him around, let's go ahead and do that. And we feel like this guy will land on his feet, so let's move him. Like that's a very real thing. So maybe Brian Allen gets cut, and then we see like an Avila and Barus guard combo with Shelton at center, Havenstein holding down RT is maybe Jackson wins left tackle. So who knows, man. Dude, what? I haven't answered these in so long. I'm gonna put a pin in this one right now. We will bring me back officially. They're fun. The whole reason why it's called Fan Quesos, man. Good old Kyle, man. Good old Kyle. It's actually like it bums me out still. To go back and listen to that it was the first anniversary episode of Ram Showcase that I did a while ago. And Kyle's the first one on there. And he's why it's called Fan Quesos, because he used to ask me about the cheese stuff. I'm not going to answer that right now, but I do appreciate it. If that makes any sense at all. His favorite cheese and drink. I'll think about it. It's kind of tough. It's tough being with where we're at right now, and we don't know a lot about these guys yet, especially the young guys like Byron Young. We don't have a lot of info on Young yet. Let's see him out on the field. Then we'll pick out his favorite stuff. Stuff still getting clean. Let's see. Nope. Just a couple basic things. Nothing too nuts. Yeah, I do want to get that podcast out sooner rather than later. I feel like I've been kind of lazy, I'll be honest. I know what football season means as a person who does a podcast like mine, and by myself. I know what it looks like. So I have very intentionally been taking it easy. I'll say that much. I know that this is the calm before the storm, and it's about to get so busy. And between September and January, my life is so busy with this stuff. So, and it's not that I don't love it, because I definitely do, but I have to understand and I have to keep it in my head that like, yeah, there's gonna be times where my friends are out doing stuff and I don't get to go because I need to put my episode out or something, So, I mean, I'm in a weird spot right now with like I know I want to get some more stuff in, but like I also know this is my last chance to like chill out for a while. We're about to hit the grind hard. So with training camp starting though, I definitely want to get something going because I also like I talked about the topics that we will be talking about on the show, but also want to discuss kind of who we're talking about and who we're getting into. Like as far as like position battles and who to really watch for, what names you're going to want to listen for when we're talking about press conferences and stuff like that. But back at it tomorrow. Yeah, I definitely want to have something out. So we'll get that either tonight or tomorrow morning, like I said. But yeah, this is it. This is the moment. Like now the training camp's here. It's basically like this is like my last day, like to chill out. And I realize I'm doing like a 2 hour, potentially longer live stream just talking about the LA Rams, but like doing the editing and putting videos together and stuff like that, yeah, it gets hefty time wise. Again, not a complaint. I love doing this stuff. I love talking about the LA Rams, but I do know that my life does take sacrifices to be able to put this puppy together every week. So just with that in mind, I have consciously been just taking it a little light lately, and I do apologize about that. I know people comment all the time about like, where have you been? Where's your podcast at? When do we get another one? Stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, wait a second. And also, like, now that I do this stuff, and then like I am also a DJ in my day job, like it's a lot of creative brain power, man. And like just trying to think of stuff all the time to talk about and say. I talk too much. I would say that. Says Colby Jack and Colorado Kool-Aid. Colorado Kool-Aid. That could mean probably a lot of stuff. Let's see. What's the biggest surprise about podcasting? The time. I'm surprised how much time it eats up. But again, not a complaint. I love doing it. I love putting it together. I love putting out something that people can listen to and get information from and get opinions from and form their own opinions from and give details about things that not everybody sees, not everybody thinks about. Yeah, it's just fun, man. It's fun to put something together, but the time is it's hefty, man. And I could use help, but I don't know how. I don't know how to get help. That's the thing is like I don't know. I have trust issues with help. I like things to be done in a very specific way, and I know that if I just do it, it'll be how I want it. You know what I mean? If I bring somebody else in, how rude is it for me to be like, I need you to do it exactly like this? Take all your creativity and leave that crap at the door. You do it my way. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I've had this show for 8 years, man. It's tough. It's hard to let go of any of that. So it's yeah. Oh, Chris says it's great. Chris says it's great, and I trust Chris's judgment. I will check it out. I absolutely will. I absolutely will check it out, dude. And thank you for watching, man. Appreciate you. So I am getting a little dirt-ish, I guess. Yeah. So if you fought Matthew Eugene Stafford, who'd win, dude? He's like one of the toughest players in the NFL, and I talk about football. All right. You think I'm out here taking hits, bro? Not a chance. It's not that I don't trust you, man. I just need to know. I just need to know. That's all. I just need to know. I need to know. I don't need to feel pretty good. I need to know. Like I had a guy who was going to come in and be my producer for a little while. And one text message ruined it. One text message ruined it. So we were supposed to record on a certain day, and I'm sitting here waiting. I'm in here in the sheriff's station, waiting for dude to show up, and I got a text. And the text simply said, I don't think I'm going to make it today. I feel a little lazy. That was it. You're fired. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not. Don't come back then. Like, you're feeling a little lazy. I'm waiting for you, dude. Like, I'm sitting here waiting to record with you. Like, so that was it. Didn't even entertain that one again. Didn't even entertain it. Didn't even try to reach out, anything. It's like, okay. I said, okay. And I did it myself. Did that episode myself. And it was fine. That's the thing. I knew that if I just do it, it's fine. It's so hard to trust any outside help, man. Especially when it comes like that's the thing too. Is not just like because distribution's whatever. People can distribute. A lot of people are good at distribution. Not a lot of people are good at editing. Not a lot of people are good at content creation in itself. Not a lot of people are good at storytelling. Not a lot of people are good at um, curating and finding what is relevant information to talk about. You know how many people are talking about Madden ratings right now? All the people are talking about Madden ratings. You know what that means on football Sundays? Nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's one of those wasted topics, but I mean, whatever. It's a thing that people get and stuff like that. And that's fine, but that's the thing. Like to filter that out, filter out that stuff that is actually meaningless. Power rankings from a name I've never heard of before, but because he works at NFL.com, I'm supposed to care. Like, nah, I'm good. Don't care. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like that. 50% off. I am not paying, man. I'm doing fine. As far as like my distribution, what I'm doing now, no, I'm doing fine there, man. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like editing help and stuff like that. The distribution is not where I'm struggling. My show's 8 years old, man. It's the distribution is fine. The audio version of my show does fine. That's not the problem. Problem is YouTube demonetized me, so I have no incentive anymore to post to YouTube. And I want help editing. I want help content creating. If I want to have a fantasy segment, which I'm not opposed to having a fantasy segment, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I will outsource my fantasy segment, but I haven't had anybody reach out. I've said that a few times of like, hey, I will bring you onto the show if you want to do a fantasy segment. You give me a 5-minute video segment, I will toss it in. That's the thing. Hard work does not always pay off. You know what you're doing. If it ain't quality or you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, but also sports media is in a weird place right now where it's all about clicks and plays, and quality of content is taking a back seat to a lot of that stuff. So, oh, for sure, the Madden ratings. Uniform talk is whatever, man. And like, it's kind of funny because like I tweeted that out and people got so emotional about it. Like, people heard me say it's like damn, camp starts next week and all Rams fans are talking about is uniforms, and people took that as like I hate throwback uniforms, and I mean, like it's like you're translating this into things that are not real, man. Like I don't know, man. So it was such a weird thing, but it's like I didn't say don't talk about uniforms. I didn't say it's not cool to have a preference, but if that's the only thing that you're talking about right now, there is so many cooler things going on with the Rams right now than the fact that we didn't release a throwback uniform. And I will go into this on Ram Showcase, so I don't want to talk about my whole points at all. Like, well, I don't want to dive deep into my points because those will be covered in the podcast, but it's like the Kevin Demoff's reasoning for not having one this year, I fully support. I back that to the max. Don't give us something that we'll be disappointed in if you could just wait and give us something that we'll all love. I don't see why that's a bad thing at all. Madden ratings are literally pointless. It is a video game. I don't get it. I don't get it. I realize it's popular because it's the only NFL game, but not only is it a bad NFL game, it's not even a good video game. It's a bad video game. It's full of microtransactions and the ratings are literally skewed in the beginning to get conversation stirred up. They literally do this every single year, and everybody just takes that bait. They're just like, oh, this player who's awesome, give him a bad rating. And then they just reel in the engagements, man. It's a joke. And it's so ridiculous to me that people get burned on it year in, year out. People are always like, what? This player is a this? But did you even see it? Like, it's like, dude, you lost. You lost the game. Like, it's like you did exactly what they wanted you to do. Like, they just want to talk about it. Because guess what? They change. Week 1 will happen. All the ratings will change. And the player that you said, like, you were mad about that they didn't get a higher rating, they're going to be higher now. Dylan, you're misunderstanding me. Uh, you're misunderstanding where I'm needing help, man. I don't need help on my distro. Distro is not that. That's not it. I won't want help with my distro um, until I cover other bases first. And if you want to have that conversation, man, definitely reach out to me in a more private setting. But yeah, there's other things I want to take care of before I'm just worried about distro. I'm not gonna. I don't need to get a bunch of. I don't need to get a bunch of half-assed content in front of a bunch of people because I don't want my first impression to be poor. If I'm reaching new people, I don't need a bad first impression. I need to cover up some stuff first. Not cover up some stuff, but like I need to take care of some things first. And first meaning I need help in other settings before I'm worried about just blasting it to everybody. And you're right. Yeah, the people care about the engagements, they care about your reach and stuff like that. But I'm more worried about the quality of my content than just blasting it in front of as many people as possible. Because that's cool, but it's also very temporary. You can blast your stuff in front of people, but if the quality is not there, it's a very temporary blast. And I'm not here to just peek out and then disappear, man. I'm looking to build a very good, strong quality base of content, and then we can worry about the distro, man. But I've got steps I need to take before that because I'm not going to have my first impression of reaching new fans be something that's not to my standards. And I'm sure you understand that, man. You're a smart dude, obviously. Like you know what you're doing, um, but from where I'm at in my steps, I'm choosing to take a little bit more of a path of my choosing, and distro is lower on that list right now. It's on the list, but it's lower on the list right now than other things that I want to get taken care of. So yeah, I need help in other ways first before I'm just mass blasting and making bad impressions on people. So. Josh, I'm sure it's a whole waste of time, but honestly, what do you think the Rams front office will do for quarterback in 2024? Just your gut feeling. My gut feeling is that Matthew Stafford is going to stick around, and we will have Stetson Bennett be the backup for year two. So I'm going to guess that we don't really see much change. But my gut feeling, man, is that obviously so many things can happen. Just for examples, Matthew Stafford could get hurt, and Stetson Bennett could come in looking like an absolute monster. And at that point, the Rams are no longer in conversations for replacing or going via the draft because maybe we already have our guy on the roster. Maybe Matthew Stafford comes in and has a Hall of Fame, or not a Hall of Fame, but an MVP type year. And what would be the point of drafting a rookie quarterback? What the hell are we, the Niners, or the Packers? Like getting like trying to replace your quarterback before you need to. Like, I mean, come on now, So, or maybe both Drake May and Caleb Williams in college, maybe their years this year aren't that good. Maybe they're just okay. And maybe there's a quarterback that nobody's talking about right now that is blatantly a clear-cut number one overall guy. So, and then maybe the Rams are in position for that. Who knows, man? But my gut reaction is that Rams fans are going to be extremely disappointed when the Arizona Cardinals draft Caleb Williams. That's my gut. Who was the best blocking back? It's a good question. Blocking halfback. That's tough, man. That's hard. That's a hard question to even answer. Marshall was always willing to lay it out. Steven Jackson did a great job blocking. Todd Gurley flipped Clay Matthews at one time. That was pretty sick. I think we stopped talking about that. We stopped talking about when he just absolutely just flipped Clay on his dome, dude. Oh, Cunningham. That's a good answer coming in from Josh on the Facebook page. That's a good answer, actually. Cunningham was dope, though, man. We had a string there ending on Todd Gurley where every single year the Rams' leading rusher was a rookie. It was like Daryl Henderson, Trey Mason, Zach Stacy. I don't think it's in that order, but yeah, then Todd Gurley was the last one that was a Rams leading rusher as a rookie, and then he just continued, obviously. You're just like the Rams, choosing to do something now that may not be super popular or cool, or the Browns that your brand will get way better long term. Dude, you're absolutely right, man. Because it's one of those weird things, and I don't know if he's still here or not, Dylan, but I've seen it happen a lot where people are really, really good at getting content in front of people, but the content really isn't as good as it could be. The focus is just getting it in front of people, and it works. It really does work, but only for so long until people start getting frustrated that the quality's not there. And I think sports media is in a very big point right now where just getting anything in front of everybody is the goal. Whether it's good or bad, you're in front of people, so you get engagements and you can sell that and you can make money. That's awesome. But longevity-wise, and to use your content as examples to further your career, distribution and just getting it in front of as many people as possible is not the path. So that's the whole point that I'm trying to make here, is that like I want help with certain things so that I can make other things better. Like if I can get help editing my videos together or creating different segments that sometimes I just don't have the time to write out and create, and then create graphics for and stuff like that. Sometimes I have to dump what I feel like would be good content because I don't have the time. And that sucks. And that's what I would like to fix. Because if I can make Ram Showcase the show that I want it to be, that the show that's in my brain, I don't have the time to create that in a week. I don't. I'm here alone. I am Showcase. It's everything's done by myself. And its distribution is not the issue there, because you can set up a lot of things, and it's very easy to set up a lot of things to get in front of a lot of people. But that's not my concern. My concern is getting my show to where I want it to be, and then we can work out something where we can, mass blast it. Because that's the impression that I want to make. These people seeing Ram Showcase for the first time, I want them to see a show that they are blown away with. I want them to see a show where they're like, holy crap, like this guy's just like in his apartment, like making this, like this is awesome. Like, and that all comes down to editing, that comes down to content, that comes down to strong segments. Everybody can sit here and do a segment about how Matthew Stafford got burned by Madden. That's not creative. It's not clever. It's not original. It's exactly what EA wants. It's like there's nothing about that screams quality to me. So and I'm not trying to trash anybody who does that, because that is the game right now. That is the game, is to just put out the popular topic of the week and talk about it and just throw in your emotions about it. So like to say, yeah, Matthew Stafford, how dare they? He's a Super Bowl waiting court. They put it low on purpose so that Rams fans would get mad and talk about it. They wanted engagements, and it worked. So that's the thing, is it's not inspired. It's lazy. It's not creative. It's none of those things. And I don't want to be part of that. That's all. And I don't want to stop making Rams content. That's the thing, is I just want my content to be meaningful and actually have some weight and hold and be thought provoking and get people to be like, oh man, that's a really good point. I've never thought of it that way. Like that kind of stuff, or just a segment that people don't think of, and that's all of that. But again, I am one Joe. And if I had 3 more of me, the show would be so sick, dude. But again, it comes down to the trust. So I know this is my fault as well. It comes down to the trust. I need to know that whoever I bring on, I can trust their creative processes, and that it'll add to the show. That's all. Distro is down, man. It's down on that list. In Warner's book, he said Marshall. Dude, you're absolutely right. Yeah, he had very, very positive things to say about Marshall Faulk and his blocking. And you can see it. It pops out on film when Warner's back there and Faulk is protecting, and he'll do it. And what I liked about Falk too is he would give a little pop and then turn around, wait for the ball. We caught a lot of passes like that. So does Steven Jackson, though. It was just like lay a shoulder into somebody, but then they're still trying to get after the quarterback. So you pop a shoulder and then turn around. Dude, if you're on the same page with everybody, you're on the same page with the quarterback, you're on the same page with the offensive line, that screen play right there, that can be so deadly. That can just, like, that's like a bad version of that gets you 8. You know what I mean? Like, that's some good stuff. That's my problem. I want to make content so much better than it is. I just don't have much time to be able to do what I want. So I'm stuck in this gray area of trying to find the happy medium. Dude, it is impossible. It's so hard. I don't want to say impossible. It's so hard. And to have other things that you're doing at all, like I have a full-time job, like that is literally radio. So it's like hard to like keep wanting to talk all day. You know what I mean? Like, and then sitting here, you know, trying to edit things together, and it's just me trying to put this entire puppy together. That's hard, man. It's time consuming. It's difficult. You know how many times I stayed up way too late editing a podcast because it was like, well, if I don't put it out now, then it's already going to be Friday. Like, and then it's only sits, this game preview is only relevant for a day and a half. Like, what? No, I got to stay up. I got to do it now. Like, it's just the thing, man. But, and I know an editor has to do the same thing, but that's where conversations are had between me and that editor of what they want and what I'm willing to offer. But I'm open to having that conversation. I'm not going to like post it and be like, hey, this is what I'm offering. I'll offer this, because also you got to, what do you offer? You know what I mean? Like, what do you bring to this table? You just gonna throw this thing together real quick and then leave it? Like, I don't want that. I don't need that. I can do that. So let's see. I love reading and hearing about the things Rams players do for charity or in the community. It's not always what happens on the grass. Dude, that's actually a very good point. That's something that I've never gotten into, but I do appreciate that input, actually. The reason that I don't get too into that is it's very much a personal preference. I just don't want to feel like I'm pandering at all. And typically, any videos about like community outreach feel very pandery to me. So, but that's the thing, is like, if I'm not actually pandering, then I guess it's one thing. But if I'm actually just talking about it, but I appreciate that input, man. I will definitely, I'll definitely consider that for sure, man. Sports content isn't really an evergreen type of content. I don't totally know what that means, actually, but yeah, I don't know what that means, actually. It's probably something dumb that I should probably know about, but yeah, I don't know. Best thing about your show is all the facts are real. You do fantastic research. Hey, man, thank you very much, man. I do. I put in some time to make sure that what I'm doing is accurate and relevant and meaningful, man. I try not to just unload just any information. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of information you can just find on the internet, and I don't want to be a show that just like is just the personification of like the Rams website or like the NFL.com Rams page where I'm just like, Matthew Stafford has 3,900 yards for this many touchdowns and this many. Like, I want to be like a little bit creative in there, you know, and then dig into some stuff that I think is cool, and figure out why things are happening. Why did the Rams not run so many sweeps? Well, it's probably because of the injuries. Probably because this player went out, and then this player went out, then this player went out, then this player went out, then this player went out. Like, stuff like that. It's like, and digging into that kind of stuff, or learning that Aubrey Pleasant came back because he wanted to work with Raheem Morris and stuff, and Ernest Jones and how hyped he is to get to be a leader this year, and how he like that kind of digging into that stuff is fun for me, man. It's more about storytelling than just like spouting off stats. What do those stats tell you? You know, there's a story behind everything. Like Zach Stacy's tweet. I don't want to just tell you what the tweet is and be like, I guess he's mad. It's like, what is the story behind that? What is it? Why? Like, Trey Mason posted the frog and the T. It's like, oh, he's like, okay, you doubting me? Okay. It's like, so maybe we'll see something good from Trey Mason this year. Zach Stacy said, nah, like he wanted out after Gurley got drafted. So that was the story. That was the story of two running backs and how they could the different reactions you could have to drafting a running back, Todd Gurley, 10 overall. Is one guy was like, all right, we'll see. I'll show you come camp time. It didn't work out. Todd Gurley was better than Trey Mason, but hey. Then Zach Stacy, it's like he just wasn't ready for the competition. He was like, nope, I'm out. And then of course his life kind of fell apart for good reason. You can't do that stuff, man. You can't do that. I'm on a little soapbox there, like range content and stuff, but like it has been frustrating me. The lack of quality. And I mean, and Dylan, I'm not saying you're part of any problem or anything like that, but like that is kind of the problem. Is that everybody's just worried about getting in front of as many people as possible. They're not worried about the quality of what they're putting out. And I can't ride that wave, man. I have a hard time with that. I would feel almost guilty. I don't know if that's the right word, but if I took a backseat on the quality just so that I can get more viewers, that just doesn't, something about that just doesn't sit right with me, man. And I'm not saying that's what you're suggesting. I know you're not saying like we'll make your show worse and we'll get more people, but like I'm one guy, man. I've not heard any news on the running back room. I know Akers is obviously starter, but who's RB2? Is Evans looking to take over midseason or earlier? Great question, actually, because these are all questions that I might have better answers for like a week, because training camp starting tomorrow. We'll see how those reps are being split right now. If I had to guess, I would say that we can go ahead and pencil in Kyren Williams being RB2, although we have not heard anything about Kyren Williams, and that's a bad thing. What I can tell you about my history of covering this team is if you're not hearing a player's name, that's not good. Like the people who cover this team will mention people who are performing well. Jordan Rodrigo and Stu and trying to think of who else. But like these people will talk about people who are good and performing well, or even if they have just one sick play in a practice. Last year we were hearing, hey, Kobe Durant's playing pretty good in camp. It translated. When do you hear anything about Tutu? When have you heard anything about Tutu? Only from fans. It's only from fans being like, damn, this play in camp. You don't hear that on Twitter from the actual media people. So I don't know, man. It's kind of easy in my mind. It's easy to kind of pick out who might be in position to do awesome. So that's how I'd answer your question, Josh. Is this week, pay attention to who's being talked about. Is it Zach Evans? Is it Kyren Williams? If it's neither of them, is it Sony Michel? Like that's the thing. Is like is I guess Michel. I kind of forgot that he was here. Michel had kind of pencil in there too, but I also don't know if he's just here for a short time or if he's actually going to be here for the season. So we'll see. Are you going to use YouTube NFL Ticket? No. I like to go out for games. I like to make game day an event. So to stay home to watch, I think is kind of dull. I'll be honest. I'm not trying to say it's boring if you do that or anything like that. But like for me, I don't like just like waking up and then just like sitting on the couch and watching the game. I like to get out. I like to get a live stream going. I like to talk about it. I like to get myself hyped up. I like to get to the bar. I like to see the homies. So yeah, I like to make it a thing. I like Sunday game days to be an event. And that's why I don't do anything on Sundays as far as content wise outside of like my live stream pre-games, is because I'm a fan of this team. First and foremost, I am a fan, and I'm not always recording myself being a fan. Sometimes I'm just being there. Like I did not take a single photo at Disturbed. I was front row at my favorite band, first time in my life. I've seen them like a bunch of times. The first time ever, I was front row. I didn't take my phone out of my pocket, man. I was just in it. So, like being at the games and stuff like that, or watching the games, it's like that's where I'm at. I'm watching the games. I'm not going to sit here and live tweet all the stats and stuff like that. In fact, I don't understand that, man. Like, and again, I'm not trying to down anybody. I don't get that. Like when a player scores a touchdown, that you're in your phone. You need to let Twitter know. We all saw it, bro. Like, and who are you tweeting for? Like people who can't watch it, there's apps for this, man. Like they can just watch that, right? So like, are you there live stream? That's so weird to me. So I don't know. I don't do it. I get that people can, but I like to, instead of Tyler Higbee scoring a touchdown and me tweeting about it, I like to turn around and give high fives to the bros. Boom, boom. Let's go, big rig. Yeah, I like that's where I'm at. So yeah, that's that's kind of a backwards way to answer your question, but no, I'm not getting the Sunday chicken. Oh, that's kind of funny actually. Yeah, I like the event of it, man. I like making it chaos. I like going out, having a good time. The bar I go to, I've been going there since 2010 to watch Rams games. They had a box TV in the corner when I started watching there, and I was the only Rams fan. I remember just like I'd be over there by myself watching, unless there was any fans of the opposing team that would show up. I was just over there in my corner watching my game. I was 19 when I started going there, so I was like couldn't drink or anything like that. Just eating my fries and just watching the game by myself, and then I go home, man. And eventually, things kind of started changing, and other people started showing up and stuff like that. So now we got a little bit of a crew, but that event is cool. That event is cool. Just making it a whole day thing and having beers and stuff like that, man. Having fun. That's why I don't do any post game stuff because I don't know. Yeah, dude, put your phone away. Put it away. Like, why do you have to live your life through your cell phone, man? What are you doing over here? Are you capturing this for? It's like people at concerts who are like recording and stuff like that. It's like I get it. That's fine. Don't do it in front of me. That's for sure. Because I'm here to watch the show, not to record it so that I can get likes on social media later, or to post photos so that I can show everybody that I was here. I didn't go to Disturb so that I could tell people I went to Disturb. I went to Disturb because I wanted to go. You know what I mean? Like that's why I go. That's why I watch the Rams games. I'm not going to watch the Rams games so I can tell everybody that I watched it. Like that people probably know, but that's not why I'm doing it. Like I'm going because I want to watch. Like I just want to see it. I'm going to games. I'm not going to LA so that I can post on social media that I was in LA and I saw SoFi Stadium and check out how cool I am and stuff like that. So I'm going because I want to go. I want to see that place with my eyeballs and be inside of SoFi Stadium and watch Van Jefferson score a touchdown right in front of me, dude. And Chris was recording that video. It was so sick. So sick. It was so sick. But like you can tell that like because obviously recording and stuff like that, that's awesome. Do your thing. You want to capture a moment? Hell yeah, dude. Capture the hell out of that moment. But like don't make it all the thing. Like don't make it the whole thing. You know what I mean? Chris doing it was awesome. That was badass. But he didn't like ruin my day for it. So that was cool. And you got to see me at a Rams game watching the Rams score a touchdown and seeing my reaction to that, which honestly, in the least weird way possible, kind of adorable and wholesome. That is like the most pure Sheriff Joe Bags moment possible is Van Jefferson scoring that touchdown against the Jags. And then the video zooms out and you see me just be like, oh! It's like, damn, dude, I'm just so into it. I'm lost. I'm lost in the moment, man. I love that. And I love people that can do that. I get along really well with people who can do that, who get so lost in moments. Like one of my coworkers, she cries at concerts all the time. I love that. It's so funny to me. It's like, it's funny in like a not funny. I'm not making fun of her, by the way, but like, it's cool to me that like there's still people out there that go to events so that they can actually just because they want to be there, not to capture it, I guess. Again, live your life. I'm not trying to teach you. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm saying I just get lost in moments, man. I forget my phone. I forget that it's there. It like disturbed. I was not thinking like my phone probably was buzzing in my pocket and stuff like that, but it's like, oh, I wonder who that was. Like, I don't care. I'm doing something right now. I don't want to pull my phone out and take a picture. I want to watch. I got the guitarist's towel and the drummer's stick. Like that stuff's sick, man. It's fun stuff. Also, concert was awesome last week, by the way. Priest. Yeah, that was exactly what I wanted out of that, man. That was so nice. It was so good. All right. Are we wrapping up here? What are we doing? If I don't get any comments here in the last couple minutes, I will wrap it on up. But again, yeah, we'll get a Ram Showcase episode by tomorrow morning. Probably record part of it tonight, but finish it up tomorrow. Yeah, we're going into some rookie stuff. Like I said, we will talk about the Matthew Stafford business simply because I feel like we need to. And I kind of talked about it on here earlier, but there's some points I want to reiterate and kind of nail home on like my point of like who was lying. Is it the media? Is it Demoff? Is Florio just bitter, or does he actually know something? Stuff like that. We'll talk about that. We will talk about the Madden ratings, not them specifically, but my emotions on them. Also, we kind of talked about that. We'll talk about Hard Knocks a little bit, which is really interesting. And spoiler alert, the reason that Hard Knocks is now lame, because it is, let's not pretend like it's not. The reason things like Hard Knocks are not cool anymore is because of things like Behind the Grind. Behind the Grind is so sick, and it's ours. You can't take that and put it in a different team next year. It's ours. That is the Rams thing. So that's kind of a spoiler alert on that topic, and how the fall of Hard Knocks essentially, and why like the Rams have no reason to get back on there. We have Behind the Grind, which is so dope. Like I said, so there's that part of it. And then what else do we have here? Yeah. So we'll be good. We got some good stuff to talk about on this one. And then we will be talking about training camp officially starting tomorrow. We can take a peek here at Rams. See if we got other scheduled stuff as far as the camp goes. So Saturday the 29th is sold out. It's all closed up until then. Monday the 31st, there's some availability there. Saturday seemed to be, getting sold out, but the other days look all right. So that first Saturday that everybody's that is sold out. If you're going to that, you're getting your schedule, your 2023 schedule magnets. On Monday, if you show up, you get that Rams drawstring bag. That's pretty cool. Tuesday, August 1st, you're getting the Rams challenge coins. Not sure what that means, but that's pretty dope. Oh, also, offensive lineman signing for day one on the 29th. Wide receivers on Monday, July 21st. That day with the Rams challenge coins. I don't know what that means, but that's quarterbacks and running backs. Thursday on August 3rd, that is Vamos Rams Day. So you're getting a mariachi towel and the Vamos Rams poster. Pretty sweet stuff. Also, defensive line signing there. So pretty cool opportunities for possibly Aaron Donald, Kobe Turner, Marquise Copeland, Bobby Brown. Some good options there. Next day, Saturday, August 5th, that is already sold out. That is Rams Legends Days. So that's a pretty popular one. That's also going to be linebacker day. So study up on your linebackers because I feel like we all just know Ernest Jones. So study up so you don't look like an idiot. I will tell you this is in my experience of like getting autographs from Rams players, if you call them by their first name, chances that you get an autograph skyrocket. All right, and that's exactly what happened with Chase Reynolds. Is just being like there was one guy sitting there and he's like, hey, nothing. And it was like, and then he kind of like peeked over at me and was like, yo, Chase, when you get a second? And he was like, boom. And then he walked right over. And he literally, as he's signing it, he's like, man, knowing who we are goes so long, like it goes such a long way. And I've brought that up with different players and stuff like that of like Nick Scott. Maybe you don't know what he looks like, whatever like that, but like, hey, Nick, like anything like that. That is such a massive thing. Learn the players' names, study them up, and then when they come out, if you can call them by their first name, you get their attention. Did it with Paul McRoberts the year that Hard Knocks covered the Rams. He comes walking out and was like, yo, Paul. And he like turned right away, comes over, signs something, walks. Like, he didn't really talk to me, anything like that, but that's awesome. But like that kind of stuff, man. If you learn first names of players, chances of getting your stuff signed, I think skyrockets. That's just my own personal tip. Take it, leave it, whatever you need to do with it. But linebackers. So learn your linebackers, all right? You need to learn what Byron looks like, all right? You know what Ernest looks like. Ernest is kind of easy. He's got the hair right now. You need to know Christian Roseboom and Hummel. Like, know these guys, man. Know them, learn them, study them. It's good stuff, especially if you're going to be there, man. Be there, be hyped about it. And then it also, like, it creates that personal that personal part of it for you too. It's not just for the player where they just feel like they are being seen and people are watching them and stuff like that. It's also cool for you to be able to have that moment with Chase Reynolds. You know what I mean? Where like he comes up and he's signing stuff like that, and as he's signing, just kind of start just some chatting back and forth, and it's super stupid. But that show that was called Football in Hollywood, hell yeah, I watched it. No, it was not good, but yeah, I watched it. It was like a TLC show or whatever like that. But it was like asking him stuff of like, oh, dude, how are the kids, man? Like, it's like, because you know he's got kids. I can't remember their names now, but I remembered his son's name. And I like said it. It was like, hey, how's little Chase? I don't know what his name was, but I forget now. But and like it's like, or asking him about his wife. It's like, oh, did like is Kira out here? Like stuff like that. And it's like they're mind blown, man. And it's not like I don't say that to say like don't be a weirdo. Like don't like study all the. It's like what happened to your seventh grade crush? Like like don't be weird, but like just like be a normal person about it. But yeah, man, like to just know these guys and to have that that knowledge of them and stuff like that, I think it goes a long way. It shows that you're a real fan, and I think that they appreciate that stuff. So that's all. That's all that is. Family Day on Sunday, August 6th. That's a great day because Sunday, obviously, you're getting tight ends and special teams. Go meet these special teams, man. We got all brand new special teams. Maybe Blackburn be out there. That'd be kind of cool. You're also getting a Rams drawstring bag and your sticker packs. That's kind of cool. And then final one. It's going to be Tuesday, August 8th, countdown to kickoff. You're getting a Rams calendar. That's pretty cool stuff there. And then also meeting with the defensive backs. So know your DBs. I don't know if that made any sense or whatever, but yeah, I totally stand by that. Is like kind of figure out who the players are a little bit. And this year, I know that's so hard. I know it's so hard this year. I don't have it down. I don't have it down at all. I'm supposed to be going to a game next month in Denver, and there's gonna be a few players that I'm gonna be blanking on while I'm out there. But as long as you get some good ones, man, especially like, dude, it makes an undrafted rookie feel so good if you straight up know their name. Seen it so many times, dude. Where if you know a player that not everybody knows, they'll just be like, maybe not over the top or anything. It makes them feel good to know that they're known. And it shows that you're fans, man. It's good stuff. All right, y'all. I'm gonna peace on out of here. Thanks for hanging out. I'll try to do a better job. You know what? That was a BS sentence right there. I will do a better job of getting my timing out in a more reasonable time. I kind of knew that this was going to be the time yesterday, but I didn't put it out until today. So I just want to get better at nailing down my timing. I think next Monday, I think I'm totally free, by the way, too. So I should have some availability to kind of plop this puppy wherever. But hopefully I can nail it down by Thursday or Friday so you can know what is going on. And again, anybody's welcome to hop on with me. I know we didn't do it today. Last week it was like loaded, so I guess it's just one of those things where it's just gonna be a little bit different every single time. So look for Ram Showcase episode. Please hold. I don't even know what episode I'm on. I have no idea. Let's see. Episode 9 of season 8. Damn, season 8. All right. So yeah, episode 9 will be out. We'll just go ahead and lock in for tomorrow. Even if I do finish it up tonight, I'll drop that tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that episode 9 as we dive into training camp tomorrow. We've got some awesome position battles. That information will be in there. We'll talk about all that stuff and just kind of maybe who to keep your eyes on, who to keep your ears open for. Because again, this Rams media, they are very telling. They will tell us things without telling us things. And names that you hear, that is important. Names you don't hear, well, they're not worried about you remembering them. So take that for what you will. But thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Sorry I got on so many weird different soapboxes there. And, yep, that's all. Episode 9. What did I say? Did I say something different? Yeah, we're on episode 9. 9. We're on episode Stafford. Let's go.